people? Welcome to Hip Hop Talks, most infamous podcast in the space. People know who we are apparently, but don't say our name. But that's another conversation for another day. Yeah,
No, this
starting off with that. It'd be crazy. Like, I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, how you going? People, everybody know who I am already. Everybody know who y'all are too. And everybody watches us. That's why our views match our subscribers. Speaking of which, hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell somebody that you don't like. Maybe you don't like Coop, and you think to yourself, there's somebody else that I don't like in my life, but they might like Coop because I don't like Coop and I don't like that person. Like, put the people that you don't like together. Click like and subscribe to the page. Yeah, do something productive. Do something productive with all that hate you got in your heart.
it's dedicated to the Fuck Coop Coalition.
Right. Hashtag fuck your
That's a
team.
new strategy. I haven't heard of that one, Coop, but hey, if it works.
Yeah, put all your haters together. Hashtag fuck your team. We're gonna kind of kick things off. We're gonna format things a little bit differently today, guys. We're kind of actually gonna start off by doing something that we always share on Twitter every week to actually start off the mornings before the show, which is the bar seminar. For those of you who are not familiar with the bar seminar is Sean AG and I's essential hip hop quotable for the month or for the week. So every week, Sean picks a verse, AG picks a verse, I pick a verse, and that's kind of our bar seminar for the week. This week, I actually picked somebody who we are going to be talking about frequently throughout the course of this show, Old Dirty Bastard's verse on Brooklyn Zoo. Like most people in our age demographic and bracket who are familiar with Old Dirty Bastard, this is probably the song that we're most synonymous with in terms of his rapping style. Would that be a fair assessment in terms of like the actual rapper that is ODB? This is the song that we associate with that. And so this is my bar seminar because I'll never forget when I was in 10th grade and Michael Hubbard and I were having an argument about who the best rapper in Wu-Tang was. And he was like, well, when Old Dirty Bastard raps, he's the best rapper. And I was like, nah. He was like, go listen to Brooklyn Zoo. And every time I listen to Brooklyn Zoo, I go back to when he says that and I always say to myself, it's like, well, I don't know if he's right, but he damn sure not wrong every time after I listen to Brooklyn Zoo. So that was my bar seminar for the week, was Old Dirty Bastard with Brooklyn Zoo. And we'll be unpacking that a little bit further, a little bit later on in the show. But that's what I got to get us kicked off. AG?
Yeah, man. I picked Inspector Deck, another Wu-Tang member, off Above the Clouds, a feature record on an album that we'll talk about again later is Moment of Truth. And this record always fascinated me. It's actually my favorite DJ Premier beat of all time. And I know, he has a plethora of beats you can pick from, but this is my personal favorite. But this song always fascinated me because the Wu kept everything in house, even features. They would never really jump outside of the camp, and this is what I consider to be one of Deck's best verses of his career. And it's not even on a Wu record. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just dope to hear him on something that wasn't RZA production. So it was refreshing in its own way. If I heard Deck on Pete Rock production or Premier production, it was something to get excited about. Inversely, how we talked about on the last show, Biggie rhyming over RZA production on Long Kiss Goodnight. You know what I'm saying? So, because they kept everything so in-house. So, yeah, that was my bar seminar for the week. My Above the Clouds, my favorite Preemo beat. And Deck is my favorite Wu member of all time. And this is one of his top verses, in my opinion. He killed it.
No doubt. I had to double dip on mine, fellas. I had to go with Once Again It's On for Jay and Beans. I really wanted to give it to Beans, but Jay went crazy on here as well. He wasn't as potent as surgical as Beans, but Jay's moxie on his Once Again It's On is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Beans came into this song wanting to prove a point. that not only can he spar with Jay, but he can get the best of Jay if they're going back and forth. Because he took the bulk of the song. Like, he had the bulk of the bars, of course, in this joint. I think it was like 2-to-1 ratio when it came to the bars. But Jay's moxie and his confidence, and this again, what, 2005 when this album came out, you know, by this time, Jay is on, like, you know, he's somewhere else at this point. He's somewhere else as a legend, solidified everything, OG, all of that. And he just came in and did his 1-2 step and still has some of the best quotables on that song. Although Beans did a phenomenal job throughout the entire song. And I know, Coop, this is one of your favorite albums of Beans as a whole. And Beans went crazy on this album. But once again, this song really told me then. It was like to me, it was like a full circle moment for Beans, because it showed you how great of a lyricist and as a deliverer that Beans really is amongst one of the greats, which is Jay. So I really want to double dip on that one.
All right, pick.
First of all, Sean, we're proud of you for giving Jay some pride.
Yeah.
Actually putting Jay in a bar seminar. We are so very proud of you today.
He's in my top five. He's in my top 5.
AG, I think that Deck's verse on Above the Clouds might be a top 5 verse for him, and that's saying a lot. It's definitely top 10. It might be top 5. I can only think of 3.
Top 5.
I can only think of 3 verses that I prefer over it, AG. So you might be right. It might be my 4th, so it might be top 5.
We might be perfectly aligned on that. I got Triumph over it. I got Guillotines over it.
Yeah.
And then I got Protect Your Neck over it.
Okay, so I might have Protect Your Neck right after it. I'm going to tell you the verse that I love of his. I love his verse on Duel of the Iron Mike on Liquid Swords.
Love Duel of the Iron Mike.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah. I love the verse on Duel of the Iron Mike. So, but
But
it's arguable.
Just
so those are all great bar seminars this week, fellas.
Do y'all think that the Beans? Sorry, my fault. Do y'all think the Beans and Jay collab is their best? I personally do.
I think it's number 1. If it just those two, yes.
The level of rapping.
Yeah.
You want to know what it is? That's one of those underrated duo songs that doesn't get talked about enough, kind of like a Double Trouble by Mos and Thought on Things Fall Apart, where it's like 2 guys really just get busy. And one of the beautiful things about that record, and why I'm bringing up the Thought and Yasin record, is because you can hear the guys competitively feeding off of each other in a healthy way on those records. And so when you're talking about Jay's moxie, it's like, oh no, he hasn't rapped with Beans in about a year or so. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since he's actually rapped with Beans around this time, if memory serves. And so he probably did walk in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he got the memo.
Jay's always bring his A game.
He did it.
Yeah, it was like, hold on. It was one of those moments where it's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's last year in the playoffs where, you know, Ant Edwards' idol is Kevin Durant, but they're on the court now, and Ant's looking at KD like, and you know, KD's still in his prime, but at the end of his prime, and Ant's at the peak of his powers right now. That's what the Beans Jay record is like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, Jay's still gonna get you 30. Jay gonna get you 30, but Ant about to make him work for that 30, guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's not an easy 30. That's not an easy 30.
Perfect analogy.
Not an easy 30.
Not an easy 30.
So
no. In the past, that's the layup for Jay. In the past,
right? That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh no, KD going to get 30 on Ant, but it's like, oh no, they're coming on 25 shots. He usually get 30 on 18 shots.
Yeah. But that was a perfect analogy. But what Jay, to your point earlier, Sean, about the 2-to-1 ratio on the bars, that's like KD getting his 30 on less shots. If you feel what I'm saying, where less is more. You know what I'm saying?
Great point.
I think Beans may have caught him by surprise because Sean, I agree with you on this too. That is that moment where you realize it's like, oh shit, Beans is an all-time great MC.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like all-time great. He's just not like this era great. It's like, oh no, he's all-time great.
He's all-time
like,
great.
oh, okay. He's all-time great. So yeah. And speaking of which, we have an anniversary of what I feel like his best album on March 29th, 2005. He released The Becoming 20-year anniversary for the album. This is his best project, in my opinion. I could go on days about it. I think anybody who follows me, follows this show, knows that Beans is one of my personal favorites. Hold him up high. Feels like he could have been top 5 all time, if not for some personal problems, some personal troubles, and a certain CEO/rap artist. So, with that being said, what are your favorite records on The Becoming, and what is your favorite verse on The Becoming? Sean, kick it
Sean,
off.
You want to go AG?
Oh yeah, I'll go. For me, we talked about it on. That's my second favorite record behind "Feel It in the Air." I think "Feel It in the Air" is one of the greatest cerebral hip hop songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like Beans really locked in for that song, and I think that's his magnum opus as far as like solo records. You know what I mean? His highest performance. As far as as far as the album as a whole, I do think this is his best work. I give it a 4.5. It's very close to a 5. I just think when I think about this album, I get a little bit upset about it because it came at a bad time. Like I try to imagine if this album would have came out in like circa 2002 or 2000, going into 2003 when the Rock were, still kind of flourishing before the breakup. But it was just a lot of things surrounding this album. He didn't want to release when it was during the Rockefeller fallout. He was in jail. It was just so many things that marred this release. And it was just a bad look, man. I think in the annals of hip hop, this album would get held a lot higher if it didn't come out during all that turmoil that was going on with himself as well as his label mates. So
yeah. No, I agree, man. One of my joints on here is on One Shot Deal. And I also love Purple Rain with Bun B.
Purple Rain's hard.
Purple Rain and Bun B is crazy, man. Again, that's Beans going into a different pocket. And that's showing that he can rhyme along anybody, alongside anyone. And I've always felt that even with this, he also had a joint with Cam on here. The last song of the album with Cam on here after it's on. And
yeah, running is crazy.
Crazy.
Running's almost as good as it's on.
Because Cam showed up. And if you think about all the features that you have on this album, from Snoop, Bun B, Cam, Free, of course. I think PD is on there. Moschino. Everyone knew. Redman. Everyone knew when you get on this record with Beans, you gotta bring your A game. No one mailed it in because you had to come with your A game with Beans. If you don't come right with Beans, you're gonna get destroyed with Beans. And this is 2005. This is Beans. I don't want to say past his prime, but to your point, AG, it was marred in a lot of the, the stuff that was going on with The Rock. The Rock at this time was done, to be quite honest. A lot was going on. So he's in the middle of all of that. He got Dame on one side, Jay on the other side. Kanye is out of here. Dipset has taken off by now. There's a lot going on. And Beans was kind of left behind in all of that stuff. Because when Kanye took off, Beans kind of took a step back. Because he was no longer Jay's, sidekick at that point, or Jay's, side by side with Jay anymore. Kanye took that spot.
And it was a lot of pressure on this as well, because wasn't this the first release on Dame Dash Music Group? Wasn't this the first release?
I think it was, yeah. Because this is post. Yeah, this post everything. This is post graduation, 2005. Post
right, because when they split, I know that the first thing that the ones who went with Jay went. I know the Bleak album and the Young Guns album came out under Jay, but I think the Beans album is what came out under Dame. But like I said, it couldn't even be promoted right with the situation going on with them or whatever. So it was a lot of pressure in that too. Being the first release on the Dame Dash Music Group, unless I'm mistaken, but I think it is the first release.
And in real time, even though the split had already happened, it was being pitched to us like it was still ongoing.
Exactly.
It was still unfolding.
Right. If the split had already happened behind closed doors, it was getting presented to us like a sprain or a fracture. It's like, oh no, that shit broke. See you niggas. See you niggas summer, but that's not how it got. Right, that's not how it got kicked to us. So, Sean, I want to piggyback off your one of your thoughts with my a couple of mine. First of all, I think the best actual verse on this album is actually Bean's verse on One Shot Deal. I love One Shot Deal. I
Fire.
think that's the best verse on this album. That would be the bar seminar I would pick from this album. It's hard to stun on Redman, especially when Redman's a feature artist. But
Yeah,
that's actually my point about this album. Beans actually got the best of everybody on this album. And that's how you know he had ascended to all time great MC status because, well, Redman, Cam, Jay, Puba, Von B, Skino, Petey, well, none of them sound as good as Beans do. And he actually did an excellent job about putting the artist in the right places. And so I think in Snoop, even on Don't Stop, and I think one of the more underrated moments of this album, and I agree with your 4.5 rating, AG, is actually the placement of the artist on the songs. Bun B on the Purple Rain joint, that's perfect placement for Bun. You know, Pooba on Bread and Butter, that's perfect placement.
Yeah, who
yeah.
else is going? Like nobody was even reaching out to Poopa around that time. Like he's one of the most
Yeah.
underrated
Oh no,
MCs ever. Like
Yeah.
he pulled that one out that like Pooba on Bread and Butter is like the rabbit in the hat on the album where it's like, ooh, I wasn't expecting to get that.
the
It's like I wasn't
aha moment.
expecting that. Yeah, that was like, oh, nice pull, nice play.
Yeah.
This is booked in. This album is booked in. I know the album ends with the J feature and with the Cam feature, but for me, the album is booked in by his two best records, in my opinion, and that's Feel It in the Air and Look at Me Now. These are the type of records that I feel like only a prime Scarface could achieve. And I think he might even be more lyrically inclined at his peak than a prime Scarface, just lyrically speaking.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
and
With the
Yeah,
so look,
wordplay. With the wordplay,
yeah, with the
absolutely.
wordplay and the
Yeah.
verbiage. And
yeah.
so Look at Me Now and Feel It in the Air are his 1 and 2 records for me. They're both on this album. And he's just special on those records because he's the MC's MC on there, but he's also thoughtful. He's also insightful. He's
Yeah.
also like pulling at some of your heartstrings. He's also giving you game. Read their body language. 85% communication, nonverbal. 10%, you know their story, man. The other 5 time will show you. Just know you pull their strings. You the puppet master. Fuck them other bastards. Now watch who you puffing after. That's woo. It
Great.
didn't like as far as some rap shit go, it doesn't get much better than Feel It in the Air, in my opinion. I can remember when this album came out, this record was one of the first records to drop. It dropped like January of that year. It was the first record that I heard that year. I was like, that record's a classic. Like instantly. And so wonderful piece of work. I could go on and on about what his career could have been and should have been. You know, I still think he's a Hall of Fame MC. And speaking of the Hall of Fame, in this week's news, we have Carmelo Anthony, 6-time All NBA, multiple All-Star selection, 3-time gold medalist, NCAA champion, and tournament most valuable player. Rightfully and dutifully so, elected to the Hall of Fame. I think he's still on the top 10 scoring list, even though KD just recently passed him and bumped him down from 9th to 10th. So, what do you all think about Melo getting into the Hall of Fame?
I'm happy for him, man. Pure bucket. Can score at every layer, every level on the basketball court. I've always wished that Melo got the push the NBA gave to LeBron. Maybe not the same push because LeBron is LeBron, but just something to help him get that push, man. Because that rookie year, he should have got Rookie of the Year, or at least co-Rookie of the Year, like they did Grant Hill and Jason Kidd back in the day.
Okay.
Even when I look at his son, Cayenne Anthony, not they put a report out today that he was not selected for the McDonald's All-American, right? But they gave it to Bronny. That's neither here nor there. But it feels that Melo, the NBA never got behind Melo, and I feel like in his first year in Denver and his second and third year in Denver, he made Denver a legit contender as soon as he stepped foot on that court. And Denver wasn't really nothing before he got there. They were like, just trying to figure out, find the pieces. And that's why they had that number 3 pick, of course. But for me, Melo, I think because he went and got the bag as he should, he didn't do the super team thing when he was supposed to be, there before Chris Bosh. It may have hurt his legacy overall, but I do wish that he would have gotten the championship, but he did it his way. And I don't think he regret it. He did it his way. Love Melo, man. So happy for him to get the Hall of Fame.
AG, you mind if I go and you can finish us up with the Melo talk?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
So this is from somebody who was raised in Atlanta and was my favorite player growing up. He's this generation's Dominique Wilkins, in my opinion. And listen to what I'm about to say. Oh, if you ask the people who played with him and played against him, oh, they have him at the highest of the highs. Like, go ask Larry Bird and Michael Jordan what they think of Dominique Wilkins. They'll talk to you end on end with praise. You know, those are two top 10 players. In one case, the GOAT. You know, the other guy's the only person to win the MVP 3 times in a row. So, to me, he's one of those people, and we just kind of brought this guy up too. He, in a lot of ways, he's very much that guy. In rap terms, he would be Scarface. You know, it's like, oh no, he might not be on your number one list, but your number one rapper, love that dude and how he gets buckets. I think when it comes to NBA basketball, we have to kind of separate. Basketball is sourced out to hype more than any other sport. Sport is sourced out for one thing, you know? So I think centers in conversations involving centers and all other players should be separated. And so if you take the centers out of it, so you're taking Wilt, Kareem, Russell, Jokic, Embiid, Hakeem, Shaq, you're taking those guys out. As far as scores of the basketball are concerned, oh no, he belongs in the category with Kobe and Jordan and Durant and Iverson and Bernard King and George Gervin, like that select of just when they got the rock in their hands, it's like pretty much bucket, bucket. You know what I'm saying? He is one of those guys. And so if you were talking about one of the 10 best pure scorers of all time, non-center, he would be on that list. And so he's a pretty special player.
He is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Coop. You cooked that. Me personally, I would liken Melo more to a Jadakiss. You know, I hold both very high and feel like they don't get the credit that they deserve. Melo is my second favorite player of all time that I've ever watched. Now, I know before the chat starts going crazy that he's not the second greatest player of all time, but as far as my personal favorites, since I've been watching basketball when I was a real small kid, Melo's my second favorite behind none other than Michael Jordan. And I think that, you know, what Melo brought to the table, you know, say what you want about his defense, but on the offensive side of the basketball, I personally don't think it's anybody to do it better because it's nothing that he couldn't do. You know, he was pretty efficient as a three-point shooter, free throw. For his size, his first step's crazy. Like he said, he can score in a phone booth. He can shake you out of your boots without even taking a dribble. You know what I'm saying? Get to the basket, dunk on you. That second jump on a putback was crazy fast. Like he doesn't present as athletic as he, you know, really is. And he would give people fits. Like Coop said, you asked like the Paul Pierces of the world, Kobe's, T-Mac, Paul George, a top tier defender. He was a nightmare to defend. And I only slightly put him over your boy Durant, Coop, because, you know, Durant's a little bit better efficient of a three-point shooter, free throw, but Melo in his post game and his power and what he's able to do on the block and go up against fours and bully them on the block, that's the one key element that I think he slightly edges Durant on, you know, but he's one of the best.
AG, I was actually thinking to myself, Durant and Melo are the best all-time scorers at all the levels, as in at the free throw line, at the mid-range, at the three-point line.
The elbow.
Yeah.
I would argue back with you that although Melo is the better post player, obviously due to size and girth, because they're fundamentally comparable, KD is the better three-point shooter. He is the better free throw shooter. He is the better. Even this sounds crazy to say this even with Melo. No, KD's the better mid-range shooter because KD might be the best mid-range shooter ever, guys.
Right.
You know?
Him or MJ, but I'm not gonna squabble. If you got Melo or Durant as the best pure scorer overall,
he's got a better field goal percentage all time than MJ.
He's more efficient for sure. But I just love watching Melo.
MJ took way more shots, but yeah.
Yeah, I just like watching Melo with his first step and his jab step series and all that stuff. Like he could just like guarding him, you on an island, bro. Like, but one thing about it, it's like well deserved him getting into the Hall of Fame. People want to talk about him not having a championship or whatever, but all his other accolades is there. As a freshman leading Syracuse to a title. Been a fan ever since then. He got all the Olympic gold medals. I hate to be the woulda, coulda, shoulda guy, but to Sean's point, I do think it was a concerted effort to make Melo the antithesis of LeBron. Because I think if you got the second pick in Detroit with Joe Dumars, I wonder if the league called him and said, yo, you got to take Darko Milicic, because I don't think that's a call you make in sound judgment if Melo's on the board. And if Melo goes to that Detroit team, constructed as they were, he probably has at least 2 rings, and him and LeBron are battling in the East also with Wade. But I personally think that they wanted Melo out west to clear a path for LeBron, because nobody saw D Wade coming like, the player he became. But real quick, we forget about the stop. I think it was the Stop Snitching DVD, and then Melo was on there. It was a lot of turmoil. Like, I think, and God rest his soul, rest in peace of David Stern. I think that David Stern didn't want a repeat of like what he had with Iverson. So he took certain steps to kind of, stifle Melo, if you will. And that continued through his whole career. Like, I'm a Bulls fanatic, and I held Phil Jackson as the greatest coach there ever was. But when he was an executive for New York, how he did Melo during that tenure, spreading the narratives about him and all that stuff, that made me look at Phil in a different light. And I didn't really rock with Phil that much after that, because Melo didn't deserve that. So
Let's
that's a super chats, fellas.
Yep, let's get out my head, Sean. Let's knock out some of these super chats before we get lost. Go ahead, pull them up. Run it. Raising head. Rank the verses on Guess Who's Back. I'll take that. I'll take that. I actually think Scarface is my number 1 on there. And
then Jay, man, come on, man. Don't do that.
No. From the womb to the tomb, a hot pot, a jar, and a spoon, trying to make me 40,000 and move. No, it's Face.
He was fit, but I give you this though. Jay's ability to outswag everybody, like all he had to do was compete lyrically. He would just outswag everybody on the song.
Finesse his way through.
It worked more often than it didn't.
I'm going Face Jay Beans, but if you want to go Jay, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. Next super chat.
I go Beans, Jay. No, Beans, Face, and Jay.
Oh, so we all 3 got a different number. That shows you how dope the song is.
Yeah,
it's a great record. Song.
Yeah.
Artist formerly known as Kanye West. The Raisin Head, Melo or T-Mac, and did he underachieve?
Melo for me.
I mean, actually, for me, I will tell you, like, I was always a big McGrady fan, and for me, McGrady was only the only person when Kobe was active that actually could bust Kobe ass and guard Kobe at the same time.
He was an animal, man.
And I think there's something to be said for that. I think Melo objectively is the greater all-time player, but I'm taking T-Mac.
Yeah, T-Mac had a lot of length, pause, but I don't think it's fair to compare them because of injuries. I like the Dominique Wilkins comparison you said earlier, Coop, but the injuries that T-Mac had, I don't think that's a fair comparison for him, because Melo he had a lot of minor injuries, but he was relatively healthy most of his career. But let me ask you this real quick before we move on. I saw on ESPN today, they were talking about the best players to never get a ring. And they were asking if Melo would make that top 20, which is an absurd question. But, I personally think Melo would be in the top 5 NBA players of all time to never get a ring. I only have 3 or 4 people above him.
I won't put him top 5.
Yeah,
you don't think he cracked that top 5?
No, Elgin Baylor.
Yeah,
I got him over Elgin.
You have him over Elgin Baylor?
I do. I got Barkley, Malone,
Stockton,
Ewing, Stockton, John Stockton, Ewing.
You think Melo? You don't think Carmelo Anthony's better than John Stockton all the time? You can't think that.
He had Karl Malone though. I'm like, look at the help he had.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been explaining this to everybody my entire life. John Stockton didn't have Karl Malone. Karl Malone had John Stockton.
Well, yeah, he benefited off of Stockton, but they had each other, so that should count for something. Melo's personnel that he's had on his teams doesn't compare to any of the other guys.
Man, no, I'm sorry.
I think Barkley's at the top of the list, though. For me,
John Stockton's chest pass, bounce pass, and basketball IQ as a point guard translates. Darren Coleman would have got those buckets. Sean Kemp would have got those buckets. Barkley would have led the league.
Malone had that working jumper that those other guys didn't have.
If Barkley would have had Stockton, Barkley would have led the league in scoring. Jordan wouldn't have all those scoring titles.
True. I think Melo's somewhere in the range of AI and Reggie Miller, somewhere in that ballpark.
I'll put AI over him and Reggie Miller over him, though.
Me too.
Straight up. AI didn't have anything.
AI had a higher ceiling. He had a higher ceiling, but he wasn't as great for long as Melo was.
AI dominated the league at 6'1".
Yeah, he did.
Hold on. He's got more scoring titles. He's got more scoring titles, finals appearances, and MVPs than Melo.
Yes.
He's got all of them.
AI went to
the MVP is the MVP does count for that. Yeah, does count for that.
AI took Eric Snow to the championship.
Yeah, that team. That's Eric the biggest backpack ever.
Eric Snow wasn't the issue, but I hear what you're saying. Okay. Okay. We got any more super chats?
Got one more. CJ
the Kid, what up? I'm here, OGs. Bless you guys as always. Bless CJ. I'm excited for a possible Moment of Truth album talk today with the Preemo subject. So are we.
We got you.
We're almost there. But right now, Summer Jam lineup. Fellas, go. Don't do that. A Boogie. Gunna. Glorilla. Know how I feel about Glow, my girl. Glow. Shit of Glow. Money Long. Cash Doll. Cash Cobain. Jim Jones. Ja Rule and Friends with Ashanti. Did they really pitch it like Ja Rule and Friends?
Ja Rule and Friends.
Well, it's an Herb tribute.
It's an Herb tribute, though.
Ja Rule and Friends, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
fuck is the Sesame Street Summer Jam? Like, what? Ja Rule and Friends? Okay.
I don't know if Cadillac Ty and Black Child ever dropped the album, so that's how they got to market it.
You know what? every time. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm looking forward to the Irv. I'm looking forward to the Irv tribute. I hope Ashanti shows up. So it's gonna be hard to do a lot of those hits without Ashanti. But
yes,
yeah.
What are your thoughts about the lineup, though, guys? All jokes aside, how the hell did Jim Jones get on this lineup? What is Jim Jones be politicking, boy? That is one politicking. He be politicking.
This is crazy. Like this is I have no true thoughts. I'm beyond. I have no true thoughts. I think Glorilla's going to do her thing. Because I agree with you.
Thank you. Have you finally come over to my way of seeing things? Are you rocking with Glow finally?
Not yet, but I can acknowledge that she got some motion. I think she should be the headliner. To be quite honest,
To be honest with you, when I was looking at it, I was like, so who headlined, Gunna or Glow? Are they giving it to A Boogie because A Boogie from Uptown?
They could.
And A Boogie from Uptown?
But if you headline, like, her set gonna be mad short, bro. Let's call it what it is. Like, can you be a headliner with a set that short?
I don't.
Hold on. How long are you expecting her set to be, and how long do you think the set would actually be? Because I think Glow can give you a 20-25 minute set at this point.
I think she can give you that.
I would say a headliner need to do a minimum of 30.
I think she's AG. I think she's there, fam. I think she's about there.
I think so. I think so, because she got enough features out there right now that can get her.
Yeah, I'm about to say the feature songs. She done made about 3 or 4 big records now, AG. That's about 12-15 minutes plus the features. And you know they're gonna be doing some talking and crowd interaction and some dancing and
Well, you gotta take into consideration the feature verses ain't a whole record. You know what I'm saying? You go through a feature verse in like 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
You can string them out.
I mean, think about it like this. Oh no, when Jay did the takeover thing and he did the takeover, oh no, that took about 10 minutes. Like you can stretch out. Right.
He's a showman. He's a showman though.
I mean, hey, y'all gonna stop hating on Glow.
No, she can
I
perform.
always end up. I don't know how I always end up defending Glow on this show.
No,
I don't know.
I just don't know if she a headliner though. But what
Gunna
I'm more
probably be
interested in, what I'm
Who's
more
thinking
interested in is the response to the older acts like Ja Rule and Jim Jones. Because remember, it wasn't last year the debacle where Redman and Method Man said they were never gonna. Method Man said he was never gonna come back because of the reception they got.
Well, I mean, AG, to answer your question, I think Hot 97 took notice of it, and that's why I'm asking how Jim Jones made the list, because I understand Hot 97 being smart enough and intelligent in New York City to want to pay homage to Irv, and so I know why Ja Rule is being invited. But based on what happened last year, based on all of the lineup outside of Ja Rule and friends, I don't see where Jim Jones fits into this algorithm. Am I wrong about that?
I think it's a ongoing relationship. Like the Dips, like they performed at a lot of different summer jams, so they got that rapport, and he has a new project out.
I was always one of those guys. It's like, it's not Dipset to me if Cam's not there. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
If it's not like Cam's my buy-in to
but
Dipset.
if you let Jim tell it, he's the only one that's been keeping the flag waving all this time. You let him tell it.
Look here, even a country that has suffered a hostile takeover from a dictator still waves its flag. Fuck, we talking about?
Yeah. Chill.
Right.
Goony goons.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you ask him, he should also be the headliner too. That's another thing he'll take. He got more hits than anybody.
I've had enough Summer Jam talk. We might have to table this.
Let's move on from that.
We might have to table this conversation next year. So Vibe Magazine actually did something productive for a change. They did the top 30 female guest rap versus. Ain't nobody safe this year. Everybody getting aired out like on site. Like, you're not about to do fuck shit.
Man.
No. You're not about to keep on doing fuck shit and get away with it. I don't care if you big. I don't care if you small. Pause. I don't care if you Vibe Magazine. I don't care if you're an independent contributor. I don't care what space you operate on. They be doing sucker shit. But this list I actually thought was a pretty dope list. I thought some of the placements were misplaced. I thought they missed some things. But as a whole, I found this list to be good. Do you mind if I highlight some moments for you and gather your thoughts on them?
Sure. I'm in agreement with you, Coop. This is one of the better lists I've seen in a long time.
It's one of the best. It's as far as lists go, some of our bigger rap pundit commentators, whatever the fuck they are, need to take notice. This is what a real list look like. This list is actually really good, really quality. What do you think about Lauryn Hill's verse on Nobody cracking this list at 25? I actually think that you could argue that it could be a little bit higher because it's actually, lyrically speaking, one of the better verses on here.
Too recent.
Might be too recent. It is a classic record though. The Brat on Socket to me. I like that the Brat made this list a lot too, and she deserved to make this list.
Yeah.
Left Eye on You Know What's Up.
Left Eye don't get enough credit as a rapper.
I thought maybe Left Eye might have made this for the Ladies Night remix, was one of my thoughts.
That's a caveat because it's for features, and that was like I don't think that was one person's in particular record. I think that was a cumulative like effort thing. Like, it's not like Missy's record or the Brat's record or whatever. So I don't think I think they didn't count that in general.
Yeah.
What if I told you that Foxy Brown made this list more than any other artist, and I think they still might have missed a verse?
As she should have.
Did she? I thought Kim was on here the most.
No, Foxy's on here for Bang Bang, which I want to talk about, at 22.
Yeah.
Foxy's back on here for the I Shot You remix.
I Shot You. Yep.
At 16.
Affirmative action.
And Foxy's on here at number 8 for Affirmative Action. And Foxy's on here at number 3 for Ain't No Nigga.
That's 4. Yep, you're right. Because Kim got 3.
But I thought she could have made Touch Me, Tease Me. I thought Touch Me, Tease Me could have been in here.
Touch Me, Tease Me should have been in here.
That's a good one.
Tease Me. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it should have been on here.
Touch Me, Tease Me should have been on here, right? So
that's a big fact.
So my hot take when I read this list, Foxy is actually the best female guest appearance artist of all time.
Yeah, you could take off 30, 29, 28 or one of them joints and like put Foxy in there.
Now, here was my next thought. Foxy's the best, but Kim operates at the highest clip still, because when Kim hits the mark, man, Kim hits the mark.
He's a show stealer.
This is what I mean. And this is what I mean about Kim. First of all, I think having the Quiet Storm remix at 9 might be too low, guys.
Right.
Oh,
I think Bang Bang and Quiet Storm remix, where they are obviously taking shots at each other, I think both of those are too low. I think Quiet Storm remix might be top 5 too.
Yeah.
I love that they put I Can Love You at number 4.
That's my personal favorite Kim feature verse.
I was about to say that's my favorite Kim verse on the low.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Ninja Honda with Tanisha and Rhonda.
Wow.
She went off.
Look here.
She went off.
She more than at any other moment in her career is the female version of Big on the I Can Love You verse. Like that's a big level verse. It's big. And so I love that. I think Nicki at Monster at 2 is still a little bit high. But when I looked at this list overall, I realized that the people that made this list are our age and younger. Nobody older than us made this list. And they're probably, and when I mean they're probably younger than us, I don't mean like much younger, but probably like 35, 36, 37. Because most of the stuff on here, when you look at it, think about the stuff that they missed. Queen Latifah on the I Wanna Be Down remix. MC Light on Self-Destruction. Yo-Yo on It's a Man's World. The Brat on Don't Hate on Me off Jermaine Dupri's 1472. That was a sleeper pick for me. Bahamadia on Push Up Your Lighter off The Roots. So
yeah. I think they got it right for the most part, though. I don't agree. I mean, I don't disagree with number 1, Kim on Benjamin's, because, I mean, if it wasn't for the beat switch on Big's verse, I would say Kim has the best verse of the whole song.
I can see that. I'm glad they're showing Foxy love, though, to be quite honest.
She's my favorite. She's my favorite female MC of all time.
As we get further away from, the 90s era of hip hop, we forget how great Foxy was, man. Her performance. But Foxy was blazing every track she was jumping on, man. Foxy was dangerous as a feature MC. You know what I mean? Like I said, you think about, the joint she had with Jay, Ain't No Nigga. I mean, she stole the show. Regardless of who wrote it, she stole the show.
She was like 16.
16. I mean, I Shot Your remix. She stole the show. Affirmative Action. She stole the show. You got Nas and AZ on Affirmative Action, and she stole the show. So when I look at it like that, like Coop was saying before, when you think about like Kim and what she's been doing, she stole the show in the time she hopped on it. All About the Benjamins. When that beat flip and Kim is on there, steal the show. Yep. So I'm not mad. They did their thing. Even Mia X. Gotta give love to Mia X. Gotta give love to Mia X, because
okay, so now I don't know.
Eve has 2 placements as well.
Man, forget Eve.
Whoa.
Come on, dog.
Sean.
I'm bad.
No, but this is what I will say. But I really had to think of what went into play during the list, because the one thing that raised the eyebrow for me, I was like, yo, where is Lean Back with Remy on here? But that's not a Fat Joe record. That's a Terror Squad record, and she's part of Terror Squad, so it's not considered a feature. You got to really, think about the technicalities when they make these lists. So
I'll tell you this. I do feel like a lot of this stuff should be on here. I do feel like Mia X at 7 on Bout It is appropriate. I do think Mia X at 14 on Make Them Say might be a little bit too high. I think Queen Pen on No Diggity at 27 should be higher. I think Foxy Brown on the I Shot Your remix is top 5 for me, guys. I don't care what anybody.
Too. That's her best verse, I think. Yeah. But the Queen Pen, I'm glad you brought that up, Coop, because I thought that was like very, very low. It should have been a lot higher.
It should have been at least Like, how about this? I would be cool with swapping out Mia X and Queen Pen on the Make 'em Say putting Queen Pen's No Diggity verse at 14 and Mia X's Make 'em Say verse at 27, because Mia X does have the Bout It verse, and that is the verse that we remember her for.
Well, I think to that point though, I think that out of all the names on here, like Queen Pen's name doesn't ring as many bells as a lot of these other female MCs, so she probably got pushed down to the bottom. Before you went off screen, Coop, I do think it needs to be something said about the impact of the Monster verse, because I think the Monster verse is why the impact of it is why it's put so high at number 2. So I wasn't mad at that. But another thing on here that I loved about it, and this, we can move on unless y'all have anything to add. Not so much the feature artist, but it's a ton of Missy records on here where she was the main artist and had somebody else featured. So I love the flowers that Missy was getting on this list for her song.
I thought, first of all, I thought it was a nice call by them, because my favorite Nicki verse, Bite Me Nicki, on the Hello Good Morning remix, and so I'm happy that it's on here. It might be her best verse to me. When I'm saying Monster is too high, I get the impact, the notoriety, and the game-changing moment it is for her. But what I'm saying is it probably belongs objectively at 5, not at 2, because the I Shot You remix verse from Fox is better. Is better. I would tell you that Trina's Nan performance is better and more. Like there are women out here who are doctors, who are partners in law firms, and if you cut on Nan, all right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm glad you put Lauryn Hill Nobody verse on here as well.
Yeah.
She doesn't have. First of all, she doesn't have that many guest appearances for her to make this list.
It's real recent.
She doesn't. But the fact that
this verse deserves to be on here. It is one of the
stellar verse.
It's a stellar verse. I don't think Soleil should be on here, if I'm being honest. I mean, I don't think Emil should.
That record's too big. That record's too big.
But JT
was big down here. It was big.
Genuine Kidnapped her. We ain't hear from her for a while.
She should have blinked twice. She should have blinked twice.
Put her on mute. But yo, the Lady of Rage joint on Stranded to Death Row, aka Baby D. Yo, that was a good pull to put that. That made the top 10, I think. That
was number 13.
No, it was 13. But I like that they put that on here. Stranded on Death Row is a posse cut that I don't think gets enough love. It ranks up there pretty high for me.
They got on here too.
I think Remy on the Annie Up remix, I think that might be a little bit too high. That's at 6. I think they feel bad. I think they feel bad about Remy not making it. I don't know if that's top 10 action.
I don't know, Coop. I think that's right. That Annie Up remix was going crazy.
It was going
crazy. And she was the reason for that. Like when she came when she came on, that changed the momentum of that song.
Big facts.
Yeah. Rhapsody on Complexion too low.
I think
I don't even know if that makes the list for me. I would replace that with the what'd you say earlier? The Touch Me Tease Me joint. I would replace that with the Rhapsody joint.
But I feel like the guest appearance she did on the Busta Rhymes Best I Can is better than the Complexion one.
I think
that might have been an inclusion vote. Like we got to get her on here.
Yeah, I think they just put that one on it. To be honest, I
thought Vita's verse on Put It On Me was a nice pull, because it's one of those verses that us as fellas don't realize how many women know that verse until we hear it in the club again, and every chick in the club sings the verse.
It resonates with them.
Okay, first of all,
dudes rapping that joint like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
first of all, you must have been in Midtown Atlanta where I'm working.
San Diego. In San Diego.
You have been in Midtown Atlanta. Okay, it's the same difference.
Yeah. I think that I hate to say this because I love Rhapsody. I think it's an inclusion pick, and it's on a Kendrick Lamar song, so that garners extra clicks just having Kendrick's name on the list.
Ooh.
Yo, man. What's going with you?
They got to get in the algorithms, man.
They got to get,
No, but overall they did a good job. Nice pull about the Missy thing. Eve did make it here twice. I'm not a big fan of the Hot Boys remix, like, period. Even though Eve does have the best.
Same here.
Wow, I love that record. I think even Q-Tip, got off on that joint, man. Like,
you can keep that for me. Actually, I like the original better.
And Nas went crazy on there, man. That's a staple at his shows. You go to any Nas show, he's performing that verse during his lady set.
And I understand it, but I think it might be his most overrated verse. The verse ain't that good. Sorry. It ain't that good. It's just okay. The Nas Hot Boys remix verse, y'all think that's dope?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's overrated or underrated. I think it's properly. I don't think nobody raves about it, but it's a fire verse on a commercial record.
That beat is crazy. The beat is crazy.
Escobar, CBR bikes, switching gears, headlights. Shine so bright, bitches freeze like deers. I mean,
freeze like deers, man. They freeze like deers. That's what
Coop don't like the verse because when we came back from North Carolina, he hit that deer. So he got so
deer. First of all, the deer hit me. The motherfucker jumped over the median and kicked the car.
Yo.
Oh man, sorry for bringing that up, Coop. My fault.
Still paying for the shit. How the fuck you get insurance on a car and they still make you pay money after you got insurance on the car? He was like, yeah, it's like, well, a deer hit your shit. The insurance really don't cover a deer hitting the car. It's like, oh, okay. Fuck, I have the insurance for then.
Overall, dope list.
Dope list. Shout out to Vibe.
We got our artists ready. Our Rufus and ILLCity, are they in the backdrop in the background? Are they ready for us? Are they here? Because if they ready, we can go ahead. Get this party. Get this party started.
I'm about to bring them up. We got ILLCity.
Hey, we got any super chats before we get this cracking off? We good?
Yeah, we do. We got a couple. Hold up.
Yeah, let's knock those out. Bring the homies in. CJ the Kid. First and foremost, some rappers are sweet like fructose. When I look back on those lyrics, y'all punks beat the ghost. Just beat ghost.
CJ is wild, man. We're seeing the maturation.
Look here. Toastmasters has made CJ assertive.
He's an animal, man. He's an animal.
Shout out to CJ.
CJ, the Raisin Head. Foxy should have had the top 3 guest verses. She's got a lot. She's got a lot. You know what else I thought about? Man. I thought she had the best verse on the No One Else remix too, with the Brat and Foxy and Kim. I thought she had the best verse on there when she set it off brown, nigga. Chromed out whips and shit, bubbling, laying up with them Colombians. Yeah, Foxy crazy on the guest verse.
Foxy's the one for me, but I think real quick, she didn't over sexualize herself like Kim, and she wasn't as lyrically gifted as Lauren, so she got lost in the shuffle.
I don't think she got lost in the shuffle, AG. I don't think she got lost in the shuffle. Foxy was on Fuego.
I think she got blackballed.
She got blackballed. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think China Doll messed her up because when China Doll came out,
China Doll was terrible.
It was terrible. It was a big
the
drop.
beats were bad.
It was bad. It was chasing the sound of 99, and it didn't click. It didn't click at all. And Jay was heavily involved on that one. His pen was all through that album, and it was just Jay's pen wasn't the best on that as well. We got to keep that above too.
No, it wasn't. The album's not good. She's not good. The beat's not good. No, Sean's actually right. The beat's not good. She's not good.
Jay's not good.
Broken Silence. Broken Silence was the.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Broken Silence is the album. I tell people, Broken Silence. That first half of Broken Silence is as good of any project that I heard that year. That first half of that project. The second half it tapered off a little bit, but there's stuff on there.
But her discography couldn't stack up to Kim's. And that's just being real.
That's because Jay wrote China Doll. All right, so we about to get on. Let's get our fellas up on here. ILLCity.
What up, man? What's happening? What's happening?
What up, fellas?
Hey, that Broken Silence was crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Davin had something to do with that, right?
Yeah.
His name?
Yep.
Yeah. That's her brother, isn't it?
That's her brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her brother. That's her like blood brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Who
for
fellas,
also
sure.
produced "Hate Me Now" for Nas.
yep.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
So fellas, tell us what's good. You know, we've been following I Am God for a couple of years now. And you know, by process of osmosis and assimilation, I've been getting familiar with we have been getting familiar with you all and everything that's just going on in the shy. So tell me how you all linked up, known each other, met each other, what the Chicago movement is like before we get into the project. I want to talk about the city because, like, when I hear y'all shit, and that's like I said it on the last episode. I question. It's like, is this kind of like how Griselda kind of like got started, where it's like, well, everybody's kind of doing their thing, but everybody kind of is together for like a common cause and a common good. ILLCity, are you the in-house producer? Like, are you the new Derringer? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell us how the dichotomy of the team is put together and broken up and all that.
Go ahead, bro. Well,
Man,
I put it to you like this though. They did kind of like their presence as they became what they are when they started, when Griselda started. They did light a fire under us, being as though that they was coming to the city and really wasn't nobody really hit to them like that yet. So, we was going to the shows when it was only like 15, 20, but like, we know Vic Spencer, and Vic Spencer is real connected with like West Side. So uh just being in cahoots with him and knowing that he is one of the guys that they rock with, we had to really step our thing up. But yeah, they lit a fire under us, and we just started doing our thing, but it's our own sound. So but go ahead, bro.
yeah, I first heard of Griselda through Vic and Chris Crack. They was doing songs with them like back in 20. Crack had a song with Conway like in 2016, and then that's how I got on their wave. But I think as far as me and Ill like real brothers, man. We've been locked in for a minute, and at one point he was just helping. He was helping me and my brother Jay Hayes out, just whether it be with studio time or, what I'm saying, making merch, selling merch. Then maybe in I don't know 2020 maybe I think bro started DJing and he became our DJ. And not too long after that he got him an NPC. And then it was like, he started making the beats, and they was cool at first, and then bro just started going crazy. But by him being my brother, I'm rapping off the beats right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then
he getting
I
all the
get
weak ones, all the weak beats.
yeah,
He trying
rap.
to make it make sense.
And then as far as the movement in Chicago, we all have been aware of each other. When I had came home from jail, right? This is why I say it started. I had came home from jail like the end of 21. And I had text Vic Spencer of his birthday. I got out on his birthday, and he like, check your messages. I started a group, and he had like this little group. It was like me, him, Fillmore Green, and I Am God. And then he was like, you know what I'm saying? This is we gonna do a project. And we actually started working on a project, but we never finished it though. But then at the same time, I was doing music with like to me, Jujilla, and Panamera P are more like the street hip hop cats in Chicago. So I was doing, as well as doing music with God and Fillmore, I was doing a lot of music with Jujilla and Panamera P. And then I kind of think I was the bridge. And then now at this point, we're like, I won't say, we don't have a name or anything, but it's definitely a strong circle of like 7 or 8 of us that always appear on each other's albums, support each other at each other's shows. And I guess it would be Griselda-esque, but we technically not a label, not a group. We just understand that we need each other to really push through and establish what's going on in Chicago.
Yeah, that's dope.
You
That's dope. As far as the album "Ill Dirty Rufus," can you guys walk me through how did that concept come about to adopt some of the themes from the classic album "Return to the 36 Chambers" and the inspiration of "Old Dirty"? Like, whose idea was it, and who helped craft and curate or was it a team effort to craft and curate the album to what it ended up becoming?
It was more of a team effort. I think around the time the Wu docu series that they had on Hulu came out, me and bro was just always on the phone watching it, and then Old Dirty's character started to coming into fruition for bro, and I always saw bro like that too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the ace in the hole, the one, you know, the one hand army, a son. You know what I mean? Like, and so like, you know, he was just like, man, it'd be a cold thing if, you know, we do a project together, but we called it like Ill Dirty Rufus. You on the beats, you know, and I'm on the rhymes, and you know, because his rhyme scheme is so different and it's so unorthodox, which is why we use the title, use the Old Dirty character, because it's like there's no father to his style. So that was the whole reason for us really putting it that way, to shine light on his lyrical ability. You know what I mean? We didn't really want to like make a Wu-Tang-esque album, because it's still like my sound. And like I've been saying through all the other interviews too, when people ask, RZA can only do RZA. You know what I mean? I didn't want to like cop a sound like the RZA. I think there's a point in the album where we did go there. You know what I mean? But we didn't start that. We knew we wanted something like that in the album. But we didn't want the album to be just totally Wu-Tang, you know, type. You know, we wanted to shine on our sound, but still pay homage to the art that we was using too.
And I want to.
No, go ahead, Rufus. No, go ahead.
I wanted to pay homage to just the originality of ODB, because I was on house arrest for 2 years, and you know, I ain't a spring chicken, so I almost was like, all right, this case gonna take me under. My rap career is over with, but then I end up having fun again with rap, just experimenting with certain things, and then I came to the conclusion like, man, I wanna start making music that like it's hard to copy. You know what I'm saying? Or have a style that's hard to copy. So I just, I don't know. It's like, even if you hear some of the stuff I was doing like 3 or 4 years ago, it wasn't as polished as like the way I do it now. So I jump in and out the pockets. I got an end goal where it's always to land in the pocket, but I just kind of do this thing, and to me it was kind of reminiscent of just how ODB just kind of did what he wanted to do, but it made so much sense, you know.
Facts. That's dope.
So, Rufus, I would equate your style in boxing terms to having to fight a southpaw. And so, yeah, if you've ever boxed before, like fighting somebody who's lefty who know how to punch is like the worst thing in the world for you, because they can beat you with their style even if you're stronger or faster. And so, the first time that I heard you on another project produced by ILLCity, City of Gods, I said to myself, it's like, oh. I'm like, that guy, he's having fun, and my immediate comp for you in my mind, and even when I listen to your project Ill Dirty Rufus, is that you do in a lot of ways, in a positive way, remind me of Schoolboy Q and of 2 Chainz, where you're having fun when you rap, but it is unorthodox, but it's actually like low-key gangster. Like you're having so much fun on this project, people are missing a lot of the shit that you're saying, because it's like it took me 2 or 3 times to catch it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, he having too much fun because he's making me have so much fun that I didn't start catching some of the stuff that you were saying till the 3rd time around, because I was enjoying the style and the cadence and the flow and the put together so much.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think I was the next, like at one point in time in my career, I thought I was the next Meek Mill. So I was doing like, I was always doing hip hop, but I was doing like, I was trying to cater to what the streets wanted. I was around so many street cats, so I'm trying to make these street anthems and bangers. And then I finally got to a space where I was like, man, fuck them, man. I'm gonna do what feels good to me, and
Yeah.
I'm having so much more fun now. It's my content is still very street. It's a reflection of a lot of things that I've been through. But, you know, I come from being jumping in certain pockets already. So I'm just like, all right, how can I take this to another level and just make it super creative? Not too far off where I'm running somebody off, but still enough where it sounds fresh though. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. But that's hip hop. Hip hop is pushing the boundaries. It's being authentic and being, genuine to yourself. And we hear that a lot in this album. I listen to Cap Crazy a lot. I love Cap Crazy. I even love ILLCity. For you to even that production on Cap Crazy, just to have that hint in the backdrop of Dirty, that shit is genius. And the fact that, like you said, Rufus, your style is so unorthodox. It's not about riding the beat. It's really just getting crazy on it. You know what I mean? Just really just flowing on it and doing what you want to do. There's no boundaries to it. There's no rules to it. And you can feel that in the freedom of actually what you're rapping on that joint as well.
Man, just rapping regular got boring to me. Like it's like, and it's so easy to copy. And then I had all these people like, man, and you still going crazy, but that new stuff you're doing a little bit. I'm like, man, that's where I'm at with it, man. So take it or leave.
Yeah, and I think for like Cap Crazy, we just wanted to like have fun. You know what I mean? Like bro got so many, if you go back to dig into his slow down, go to his discography. Yeah, go to his discography and really just follow up all the way up until now. Well, listen, up until now, all those projects before I came in and did my thing, those projects were like serious projects. So in the midst of everybody, building the Boy Scout Logic, giving him all this production and him putting his thing together, it allowed me to just say, you know what? They giving him real serious beats. I'm gonna give him like the best production, the fun entertainment production, and we just gonna go crazy with it. The number one thing for me about us with this project and me and bro, we talk like every day. So it was like the rollouts. I just wanted the rollouts, the anticipation, and then once the project hit, boom. You know what I mean? And to AG's point on the last show, I know like a lot of people were saying we had a lot of features, and it was a reason for us having all the features on this one, because like I say, his previous albums, he really only had like probably like 2 or 3 features, and the rest was just him. So this was like an opportunity because we already riding the wave in the city. So this was like a perfect opportunity to not only show, our ability to have fun in hip hop, it also showed, his camaraderie amongst the guys and who he hang with, you know what I mean? And basically go throughout the city and get different artists, like we had Bizarre, we had Ty Ferris, just a lot of guys that he's connected with just to make a great album, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was the whole goal for this whole album, not just Cap Crazy, is just to have fun, give them a fun product.
Facts.
And
That was an honest critique, but once I think about it, it kind of fits the theme of the album, because if you're making an ode to like, a Wu-Tang solo album, most of the Wu solo albums have a lot of features, feature the rest of the crew. So it makes sense when you think about it. And Cap Crazy just so happens to be my favorite joint on the album that gives you that old dirty bastard vibe to it. But Rufus, you spoke to earlier about how your old stuff from a few years ago doesn't sound like, the stuff you're doing now. You wanted to do something where nobody could bite or copy your style and have more fun with the records. So in that, did your writing process change any? Like when you go in the booth or, your whole process leading to record the album, did you have to switch that up?
In the process, I started writing at the mic.
Okay.
And it kind of, it's like I still write some songs, but to me, it's almost like pump faking a free throw when you writing sometimes, because it's like, when scratching, I can say this better, I can say that better. And sometimes it's like living in the moment kind of, and I kept getting better and better at it. So it's like I record off energy drinks, and my mind get to moving real fast, and I just, I got to remember what the thoughts that I just thought, and then still had a conviction. But I make most of it right at the mic.
So hold on. So hold on. AG, are you finished? You mind if I piggyback off that? So I'm fascinated by that because I used to be an artist, and so some of the last things that I was doing is I was teaching myself to have 4 to 8 bars ready before I would go to the mic. So when you're saying that you have, are you in your mind, like, is the beat playing and you're writing the bars in your mind and then you're stepping to the mic, or you talking about no, you really just going to the mic like on some uncut like in riffing?
Sometimes I might have a 4 bars, I might have a hook.
Right,
Majority of
right.
the,
Okay.
but record so much music though now. Uh, I
You don't
try to
have
record,
time to write.
yeah, and you know, like I just get into a zone, almost like a like basketball game. I get in the zone. I know my mind already know what it's time to do, and once I get to the mic, like my mind, I think go to a different place. So I make them right at the mic, most of them, and all I need is like one good line, and then I'm gone. It's like I can just keep building off that. So I've been just punching nonstop. Give me back here. Come on, give me back, give me back, give me back. And then yeah, you got real good at just doing it like that. I still write and I do what you said too. I might come in. If I come in with 8 bars, it's over with. I'm finna
Right,
smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, right.
I
You
be nervous. I be nervous. It's like a fun thing because I be nervous sometimes. I come and I don't have the 8 bars and I be like, well,
yeah.
I tell the people all the time, yeah, I got the verse ready. And then I get in there and I be like, all right, what we finna do? But then I make some of my I start realizing like, damn, I make some of my best music like this. So I kind of just start just catering to the process and making the process better. And then I do it in front of everybody, and it's like some of the best lyricists in the city. They be like, "Oh, you crazy, bro." Well,
Yeah.
I want to. You mind if I ask just one more question right quick before you jump back in, Sean?
Yep.
So I've listened to Panamera P's and Jujilla's project as well, and of course, you know we've been down with I Am God for a minute. You do come off like the ODB of the crew with the unorthodox style and voice. So how do you feel when you're in the studio with these quote unquote traditional lyricists? Because they're great at what they do. Like Jujilla's verse on I Am God's More Suede was probably my favorite guest verse on there, and it made me go check for him and Panamera. So I have their projects too. And all of those guys, I would consider those three guys to be your more traditional, fundamental MCs. Does working with guys like that make you go further outside of the box? Does it push you to be like when you're walking in, does that nervousness, is that higher when you and I Am God are sitting there in the yo with you?
um, it's this song that me do me. I remember this one session I had for the Loyalty Project, and I had one song with I Am God, then one song with you, and they going crazy, and I'm just like, I ain't got nothing ready, and which I never do. But I'm just like, they definitely push me lyrically, like you know what I'm saying. And it's like the people that I rap with, they push me in different ways almost. So I would say Jew and I Am God push me more lyrically. Somebody like Vic Spencer, he's a lot of fun. He's like funny guy. Then Pano, we call Pano Tim Duncan. It's just like big fundamental, don't miss. He just, you know what I'm saying? He just but I don't know, yeah, they all push me. Not enough to change up my process, but maybe just to be aware, like, all right, you with the killers today, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fellas, we got a super chat from my mere thoughts. That this quote look familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laying
Rucker.
beside his bushes, popped out shooting like the rucker. That's my shit.
I love
That's
that
my
verse.
favorite. That's my favorite song on them.
Favorite song, yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
my mere
That
thoughts.
was probably like that was like the second and third record that we actually had like finished for the album. But the first track that we had that I built off of was Grits and Eggs. Once I, you know, had this ability, and I'm like, man, you know, we not there yet. But once I got Grits and Eggs, bro went in one day, did it. The next day, I think Richie West came by his crib, laid down his verse, and it was done. And I'm like, all my beats need to like have that type of vibe. And then so on. Then you know we came up with this concept called Rucker. Actually, Rucker is actually a concept from a joint he had on there called Jim Carrey on Aim High, which he dropped in 2021. And I was like, man, it'd be cold if you take this one line and just make it a hook. And bro just, you know, did his master thing with it, you know.
I wrote Rucker. I wrote that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dope.
yeah.
That's
Dope.
dope. That's dope. So, City, question for you, man. You got different ends of the spectrum. You got Rufus on one end, you got I Am on the other. As a producer, as a curator, and you're putting together the soundscape for all of the artists on the crew, do you see yourself gravitating more to one style based on how it making you feel as a curator, as someone who's producing the record? Because going back to what Rufus said earlier, having fun, getting to having fun on the record, having fun on the album itself. As a producer, do you feel that same way? Are you having fun on the album as you're producing for a specific person? Or do you feel like I have to lock in a certain way because I have I Am who's going to bring a different flavor, different energy on this record? Are you changing your vibes and you coming up with the actual beat itself?
You know, when I do come up with like certain beats, bro, first off, Rufus always hear everything I do first before anybody even hears. So the cat is out
Me
the
and
bag.
Me and Jay Hayes.
Me and Jay Hayes, they hear the beats first before anybody. And the beauty about that is that they'll tell me who to kind of like select to go to and be like, hey, you know, you might want to take that to I Am God. You know what I mean? And so like I'll take that to I Am God, and he'll probably like it. Like say for instance, like the intro track. You know, Hayes had that first, but Hayes was like, you know what, get that to I Am God. I think he'll sound real cold on that. And so I was like, man, you know, he'll take that joint, and he did what he did with it. But like I say, yeah, in my process, you know, the bros, they always around me. So they hear a lot of stuff before anybody else do. And so we just like make certain plays, you know, man, you might want to hook up with this artist, or you might want to hook up with that artist. And actually that makes it fun for me because it shows my versatility to be able to give people tailor-made production is what I call it. You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's my goal to work with anybody, is to make the production tailor-made to fit them. So like with the last two projects that I did, and that's what happened. You know, I just made it tailor-made, two different sounds, but the same approach, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, that's dope.
Me and Jay Hayes, our group, we like a duo. We both solo artists, but we do a lot of music together. And he's one of the main guys in the city too. So me and Jay Hayes, we even
The
before this whole thing, the little people. Yeah. So yeah, we've been rocking out for a long time, but I think Chicago just really starting to realize, man, it's much easier together than apart. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people low key, like Chicago is a hating ass city. So it's like it's a lot. It's a lot of guys that can spit, but we form this little circle, and then everybody be like, "Oh man, y'all won't let me in," or you know, we can't be down with the cool kids, and be like, "Man, this is a real organic thing. Y'all had y'all little crews, you know what I'm saying? Keep it how it is."
Like the bar is set really high in our camp. Like it's a way you gotta really, you know, rhyme. It's a way you gotta present yourself. You know what I mean? You know, because a lot of the guys that's in our circle, man, have great accomplishments. We got a couple guys that did European tours in Fillmore Green and Vic Spencer. You know what I'm saying? You know, they did European tours. You know, Jujilla and Pano, you know, they work speak for itself. You know, Rufus, you know, his years of work in it. So it's like the bar is really, really set. You know what I mean? And we done been around a lot of guys that, you know, kind of like they just go to the gym and just taking shots. You know, that ain't what we here to do.
Yeah, they export hoopers.
Yeah, they export hoopers. We really, that's why the music sound the way that it is because we really, really trying to, you know, set the bar at a high level. A lot of people would think like we just doing too much. It's like, nah, bro, we gotta be authentic and like
so
it's go ahead. Go ahead, Coop.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. I want to hear you talk your shit.
But like I said, the bar is set pretty high, and so like, you know, the music has to match, and so for us, you know, we just want to put our best foot forward. You know what I mean? And then we older too, so like the music for us at our age, it has to make a lot of sense. You know, we ain't in the clubs, we ain't you know, popping bottles, you know, we real men living real life. So like the music has to reflect that, you know what I mean? And you know, it's nice. You know, like we say, we clean up nice too while we doing it.
I think a lot of people in our city, right, they could spit, but it's like I'm not a fan of everything. I ain't a fan of stuff that's just about anything. It's like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and how does it relate to you for real as a man, as a person? You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear I want to hear about you. I want to see your growth as a man, and that's what I want to hear. And I think a lot of people get lost in what everybody else want or what will or what won't work. But the guys I'm around, those are my favorite artists.
Dope.
Dope.
AG.
Oh no, Coop, you was gonna say something?
I just want to know, ILLCity, like, so what is it like with you? Like, I know for me, your producer in the studio is kind of like your tour guide. So it appears that you are like organized and have objectives when you all are recording. Is that accurate? Because like based on what you all are telling me and from the conversation that I've had with I Am God, it's like y'all are synchronized with what y'all are doing. So y'all are coming to the like with objectives in mind about knocking shit out, getting shit.
Yeah. Working
Promotion
together.
to the movement. Do you ever have to get on any of the artists about kind of like staying on task, getting shit done?
Not all the time. Not all the time. It's like, you know, these guys are so focused, and then they make me so focused. So it's like, you know, since we probably like hooked up and did this thing in 2020 and started just, you know, cooking up and being on the rise of where we at right now, it just was a nonstop thing. You know, we just always, you know, sharing ideas, you know, on how each one of us could be effective, you know, and all these guys got a vision of their own. You know, it's just for me, I just like Alchemist said, provide the bed for them. You know what I mean? So I just provide something for them that they could just really, really be dope on. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, we definitely have that camaraderie where it goes that I am like all like hands-on, very hands-on. If I can't be hands-on as a producer, be able to curate, be able to say something, be able to have any type of input, 9 times out of 10, I won't work with you because I just don't want no trash on my shit. You know what I'm saying? So for them guys, I don't have to really do that because they already like, you know, polished in a way. You know what I mean? They already set. It's just, you know, I just expand what I do and make it, you know, make it really better for them. You know what I mean? Because I Am God, a guy like I Am God, man, that's like a cheat code for me. You know what I mean? The beat could be trash, but we gonna put the dopest concept together. He gonna put the dopest lyrics on there, and it's gonna take off. You know what I mean?
Dope.
No.
Only got one more question. So you all speak about your crew as kind of like a collective, nothing official, like as a group or not signed to the same label. But is it any chance that we can get something like a compilation album from you all with you at the helm of the production, ILLCity? Is that something that could, you know, come down to later on?
It's actually kind of in the works, but
Dope.
we don't discredit a lot of other producers too, because it's like I'm just really not like taking off. You know, there were guys that's, you know, it's like a whole group of us. You know, it's me, it's Billionaire Boy Scout, it's Logic, it's Scripts, it's Mike Jacks, it's Kid Breeze, it's just a whole, you know, crew of us that actually collectively put this whole sound together. And it could be just, you know, I could have the momentum, but everybody else, all the other producers may have their input or something. You know what I mean? Like the compilation that we put together, I may have 3-4 beats, Billionaire may have 3-4 beats on there, but it all sync in the same together. You know what I mean?
And y'all are in the studio with each other while you record. Gotcha.
In the studio, on the phone, FaceTime, whatever. It's really
That's major. That's
everything.
major.
Yeah, you know what I
As
mean?
it
Like
should
it's
be.
just
That's how classics are created, like that. You know.
yeah. And we get on each other's nerve too. Like, man, I gotta do this again. Man, I don't want to do this verse again. Man, I don't feel like putting this bass up in here, man. Now they want this loud and now they so but it's all good though, because it's like we all strive for perfection. So there's no hard feelings in that or nothing.
You know, it was like quote unquote more established producers in the city. Ill kind of just jumped the line hard, like hard.
Slow down.
2025, slow down. But Ill, like the way Ill coming, everybody see it and they respecting it. And I'm just so happy for my brother. You know what I'm saying? That he getting recognition for what he doing. Cause
Yeah.
Ill been making beats for what, 5 years now?
Yeah, about 5 years. So
Wow.
naturally I am a drummer. You know, I used to play drums for churches. So that's
Okay,
where like
there it is.
technically like the musical groove, you know, the musical background really come from. So like I just had to make the step to just buy the equipment. I always wanted to produce, I always wanted to buy MPC, but I just never acted on it. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where yeah, money don't make no money type of situations. You know what I mean? So it was just like, man, you know, I'm sitting at the crib, I might as well just, you know, do. At first I was looking at it as a hobby, but I didn't take it serious till bro technically made the transition and was like, this the route we gonna go, this the type of music we gonna make. And it was like, man, I've been wanting to just lock in and make some dope hip hop anyway. So it was like perfect timing, you know. So all that 2020 during the pandemic, you know, I'm working like temp agency jobs, and majority of the time I'm really at home. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I got to do something with my time. You know, I just can't sit here. So I just went on ahead, bought the MPC-1, and, you know, sat down, watch a few videos. Shout out to Scripps. He came through, showed me how to chop up samples and everything. You know what I mean? And from there, it just, you know, it was just history. You know what I
That's
mean?
dope. For the record, it sounds like you've been at it longer than 5 years.
Man, thank you.
Cool.
That, like I say, that just comes from the ability of being around music,
I
knowing
was actually
music.
about.
You know what I mean? Knowing music, having an ear for it. So
I
it's
was about.
like, go ahead. I'm steady cutting Coop
This how
off.
your
My
beat
fault.
sound after only 5 years. Like, yeah, I was about. No, you good. It's like I was about to say. It's like you must be classically trained because ain't no way you just been making beats for 5 years and you about to say you had to been musically inclined prior to it because ain't no way. Because I
Right.
mean, I want to say this is that well, two of our best
And then
5 projects that we've heard this year, you've handled the production for, and we don't consider that a small feat. And you've made me
Thank
question production wise, like what the difference between an independent and a major is at this stage in the game, because the soundscape that you're giving these artists, for me, I know because I've been around and I've been an independent artist. Oh, every major city got a bunch of independent artists with a bunch of talent. So for me, the producer is kind of the tipping point. And so the stuff that you put together for these gentlemen is the tipping point, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So like, shout out to
you.
you. Shout out to your team. Now,
Yeah, for sure.
now, my last question is that are you guys doing shows in the city with some sort of frequency? Is there a plan to kind of like get out regionally in your area and do something with you all having such a strong core of MCs and producers in Chicago becoming such a hub and will be in such a hub for a long time?
yeah, we was doing a lot last year. Like last year was kind of like the city kind of a reintroduction of the city, like, oh, this is all here. And I think a lot of the city was like, you know, probably listening to Griselda, especially a lot of the artists. And then we had a certain show that me and Water put together called Renaissance of the Culture, and it was sold out, packed. And then all of the hip hop artists was there, and I could just see the look on their face. The people in front, like, man, like, a lot of people didn't even know what was really going on in the city. And then, well, whatever. Then from there, we did another show called Purple Box. I got this. I'm like co-owner of this Purple Box company called Purple Box that does like interactive videos, and it kind of just went through the city, and that was another sellout show, and I think that kind of set the stage. We ain't been doing as many shows this year because I think everybody kind of looking at it like they want to do the right shows, and then I'm kind of one of the people that throw some of the shows here as far as in hip hop.
Mhm.
And we got something coming up But there's been a lot of people trying to jump on the wave, and they want us to just come pull up, and they want to get the whole crew there, but then they don't want to break bread. So it'd be like, man, y'all trying to jump on the wave? Nah, we cool. We might as well just throw
Right.
our own show.
Yeah. And plus,
Right.
like too, like
We'll do whatever we can to
don't
help y'all throw it. We'll pull up and
for
Man,
help y'all
sure,
throw it. Yeah.
man, we
for
need to do
sure.
that for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That would
Oh,
that
for
would be
real.
great.
I'm serious.
I'm in the
Just to
I
studio
mean, so
too,
I'll
piggyback,
tell
y'all.
y'all, like,
just to
no,
piggyback
we can
too,
tell.
like even if with us going back and forth to Detroit too, you know what I mean? We then went to Detroit, did a couple shows with Bizarre too, you know what I mean? And that kind of like, help us, outside of the city to throw some of these shows. They came to us, we came to them, and we look at it as a nice market. Detroit is actually a beautiful city to actually do hip hop in. They actually got a beautiful hip hop scene that kind of like took me away. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, I ain't know it was like this, but they so locked in with us, you know what I mean, that it's just, man, it's just crazy. But yeah,
Detroit got a
definitely we
lot of
gonna
hitters
get into
too.
the
Detroit,
shows. Yeah,
They got some hitters, bro.
yeah,
And
Detroit
then
got
yeah,
some
yeah,
hitters. Yeah, they got some
yeah,
hitters. I be peeping their music scene too. They got some guys out there. Yeah.
we did a Chicago to Detroit thing. I went out there. I had linked with Bizarre. Bizarre name is Rufus. So it was only right I
yeah.
had him on the project. And he kind of he reached out to me. I went and did performed at his birthday party show. And I locked in with him and Ty Ferris and Guilty Simpson and just a lot of other cats out there. And they showed a lot of love. Then Bizarre pointed to the side like, bro, y'all the bigger market though. And so then we went back out there and we did like the Chicago to Detroit thing where we all went out there, all the me, God, Jujilla, Panamera P. Then they came back up here.
Dope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm in,
Well, I
um, I'm in Classic
Okay.
Studios,
All
guys.
right,
That's
fellas, we're about to let y'all go.
for sure. I just want to say
No, no,
too,
no.
I
You're
like the
good.
show.
We're about to let y'all go. Ill Dirty Rufus is out on every major streaming platform, correct?
yes,
Yep,
sir.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
I
Yeah,
And
appreciate.
Ill City was saying something real quick.
Yeah,
no, I was
there we
Before
saying
go.
I love the show. Watch it ever since I learned about it. I've been watching it like every Thursday. So
that's
like, man,
love,
y'all got
appreciate
dope concepts. Love the fact that y'all show love to underground artists such as Rufus, I Am God, man, and the topics be on point. The album reviews and everything. Y'all put a lot of people on newer hip hop because a lot of people don't know that that they can actually go out and find a nice, the underground actually is really bringing a better sound than the mainstream. They just got to go look for it. You know what I mean? And
It's
but
pure.
it's pure. But it's platforms like y'all, man. It's platforms like y'all that actually keep us going, man. And y'all give people the information and people receive that, man. So and we've been receiving a lot of love since y'all guys did the review on the album, man. It's been crazy. So I love that for y'all. Thank y'all for both reviews, actually, for me, man. Appreciate it.
it.
I
Hey,
appreciate
Ill, I'll
y'all.
share something. Hey, Ill, I'll share something with you and Rufus before I get out of here. And this is conversation that I've had with I Am God behind the scenes. When I was an artist, and this is down here in Atlanta, I mean, I had people that knew me and that I was connected to, like DJs that I helped promote that made the radio. Like they used to ask me for money, like to play my shit, and I'm like, you know me. It's like, nigga, I help spark your shit. And so for me, me being in it on this side was always about the artist who I thought may have next. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
whoever it is, it's like I don't care who it is. It's like I just want them to get their fair due and their fair shake because that's how the game used to work. Is that like the media outlets used to put you on to the motherfucker that was next, and it's like
yeah,
it became a money thing, and it's like, no, I'm a hustler myself. I like my paper too, but like not at the expense of the game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so anytime
Absolutely,
we can run
absolutely.
across a camp like y'all, it's like, and I've been telling Sean and AG this since me and Sean and AG actually met up for the first time. It's like, oh no, we got to go to Chicago and go see these guys. We got to be at a show live. So
Yeah.
y'all let us know what we can do because we'll put the program together with y'all.
Got you, got you,
Man,
got
that
you.
would be amazing, bro. We got to do that for real.
We do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Just
down for that.
yeah.
Yeah, get the security right when you out there.
Security was right.
But when y'all get the chance, man, go back and listen to some of Rufus' other work, man. I think you guys will really enjoy the work that Rufus has presented before. The Ill Dirty Rufus. I never take nothing away from those projects, because that's how I actually got to Ill Dirty Rufus, is the other guys making the projects. You know what I mean? You know, so he's one of the most, you know, this is my brother. I've been knowing him for like 15 years plus. You know what I mean? So like this, you know, it was just easy doing a project like this. You know what I mean? Especially like me and him know each other, come from the same hood, grew up, you know. But yeah, this brother is actually history. You know, he had a lot of family history out here too. You know, you can learn about it. But yeah, definitely Rufus Sims is one of the ones, man. Go back and listen to his whole discography, man. You won't be disappointed.
Word.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all opinion on hip hop, and y'all very versed on sports too. I see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's my life. That's my life. Sports and hip hop, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
That's
Yeah.
So,
Rufus, you gonna like my new show coming too. I'm gonna be getting into some more sports stuff too. Me and Sean have been talking about doing some more sports related stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. All three.
Yeah, y'all nice. Y'all nice with it. You know, a lot of people don't be knowing what they be talking about.
Man.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Appreciate you guys.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
That was dope.
Gotta go to Chicago.
Y'all haven't heard the project yet, go check it out. Rufus Sims, Ill Dirty Rufus, on all streaming platforms. Produced by ILLCity.
We need to go in the summertime, because I'm not going to Chicago in late November.
Absolutely not. No, not
June,
at all.
July, fellas. Let's make
not at all.
Absolutely,
absolutely not.
Crazy. Won't be doing.
Yo, we didn't. We skipped over the inspiration for this album.
Right,
we didn't talk about the Dirty joint, the Return to 36 on the anniversaries. Y'all want to get that real quick?
Well, actually, that's what I was actually about to kind of get to. Is
okay.
Time wise, I knew they were already ready. That's why I was like, well, let's go ahead and jump to them and go ahead and get to this. On third. Where do you rank this album in the Wu-Tang solo catalog would be my question for today. Where does this album rank in the Wu-Tang solo catalog? Right.
This is tough. It's
hard
tough,
questions.
man. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Because I think placing the album in the Wu solo catalog will be able to provide appropriate context from there.
I'm gonna say 6 or 7.
Because this is early. This is only the second solo project. This is early. They're still in. 6 or 7?
I'm gonna say 6 or 7 for me.
Sean, what say you?
Cuban Link, Jizza, Liquid Swords. Man.
You got Supreme, Iron Man, Cuban Link, Liquid Swords, right?
Over about 5 or 6. I have it over to Cal.
I got Cuban Links 2 over this. And
that's a push. That's a push.
That's a conversation. And I think Pillage is a conversation for me because I hold Pillage high. Coop knows this.
I'm gonna put look, man, you know how I feel about the Pillage. I won't put Pillage over this.
Oh my God. We can't be having a conversation about the Pillage and conversation for 36 Chambers. Oh my God. Okay, look here.
Somebody gonna have to clip Coop's reaction, but I love the Pillage, man. I really do. But
I think
this was a nice change of pace. Like Sean always talks about when he waxes poetic about this album, and I didn't think about the entertainment factor. It's one of the most entertaining albums ever made. And coming off of Tikal being the first solo album in Tikal, 36 Chamber was gritty and grungy. Tikal took it to an even more dark and damp place. You know what I'm saying? Than even 36 Chambers was. And then coming off of Tikal, you got this album, like Sean said so many times, is real bright and entertaining, and good change of pace. And I think that, you know, we're talking about where it ranks among the solo catalogs, just the entertainment factor and Dirty's style, what he brings to the table, will help it leapfrog some of those other albums. That's a close conversation. You have to give Dirty's album the edge if I'm being objective. So it probably falls in about 5. And before, you know, one of you take the mic, I just want to point this out because I was talking to Sean about it and I had a thought. Dirty's position with the Wu, we actually spoke about it on the last show. On the latter albums where he was, you know, God Bless the Dead, when he had transitioned, that's the one element, that ingredient that was missing, you know, from their albums, you know, what he brought to the table. And it got me to thinking, Dirty, his contributions to hip hop was just so major, but it was in a limited, you know, concentration, if that makes sense. Because if you think about all those other solo albums from the Wu, it's not a lot of Dirty features out there. You talk about Duel of the Iron Mike, that's one of the only few features on the solo albums, but he just adds that ingredient, like he does the hook and takes the track to a whole nother level. Then you got joints that scattered on soundtracks like Diesel from the Soul in the Hole soundtrack, Windpipe from Belly. He's like, it's just joints here and there, but Dirty wasn't really popping up all over the place on these Wu projects. So his presence when he did, you know, get on a song, it was really felt. I mean, of course, he had the big hits outside of the Wu camp, like the Mariah Fantasy remix and then the Ghetto Superstar and stuff like that. But I'm just talking about Wu joints. There's not a whole lot of material out there featuring Dirty. And that made me a little sad when I thought about it, because he is the brightest spot of the group, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And there's not a whole lot of material out there outside of 36 Chambers and his contributions to Forever, where he's really with the clan a whole lot.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Both of you guys, where does he fit on a Cuban link? Honestly, where does he fit?
He doesn't belong in that chamber, you know, because that's a different chamber.
And I'm okay with that. I get what you're saying. The sample size is not as much as we probably want.
I've often thought to myself that he should have You God's verse on Knuckleheads.
I love that verse though.
I like that verse with You God though. I think you kind of need You God.
No, I love that. I love that verse. I love that verse. But when I listen to the beat and when I listen to like the story being told by Ray and Ghost, I'm like, no, that would be actually a great place to insert Dirty. So if you're asking me where, that would be where.
But I think You God was needed for that reason alone. But just for that. Because if you think about the aesthetic of Cuban Link, that was orchestrated very well and executed even better.
I got it though. I'm sorry. My bad, Sean.
He just didn't fit it. If anything, I would have wanted to see him more on Liquid Swords, just because the connective tissue between him and Jizza, because Jizza wrote
he is on there. He's on Duel of the Iron Mike.
I'm saying more. I'm talking about more because the connective tissue between him and Jizza wrote majority of Return to the 36. So it should be some carryover into that in some capacity, but it's very tough to say where you can put them in the place else.
I got it, and it would make sense when you hear it. Wildflower.
That's Iron Man. Yeah,
I can see more.
Oh shit. Yeah, that is Iron Man.
But yeah, I can see that. No, he fits on Wildflower though. You are right about the fit.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
You said Cuban Links, did you, Sean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what I would say. I would tell you that this album should be 5th in the solo catalog, and it would be slightly over the Purple Tape 2, and here's why. The Purple Tape 2 is better from beginning to end. There is no Brooklyn Zoo.
No.
There's no Shimmy Shimmy Ya.
No.
There's Baby Come On. There's no Hippa to the Hopper. No Raw Hide. No disrespect to the Purple Tape 2. Like those 4, 5, 6 records are all classic hip hop songs.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
And so what I'll tell you is that the only actual solo rap projects out of Wu-Tang Clan that are definitively better are the original Purple Tape, Liquid Swords, Iron Man, and Supreme.
Keyword definitively. That's
Definitively,
those four.
because here's the thing, and I don't think people really realize this, and this includes Method Man in this. This crew has never been a bright and happy crew.
No.
This has always been a very dense, intense, dark, street-oriented crew.
Yes.
Think about this. They rose to notoriety on a song that literally talks about the struggles of inner city life in Cream and the need for money. They didn't, yeah. So Dirty was the fun. This is the fun project. This is the fun album. This is the fun artist. And hip hop needs fun. That's why I like Rufus so much, because when you have one fun artist, it changes the dynamics of the entirety of the group. It does, and it's why their shit was never the same. Think about it.
He was the heart of the group, man.
He didn't take it so serious.
But much like I just said, Rufus, he's the southpaw of the group. It's like, that style just comes and hits you, and it's infectious, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Think about how legendary he is, AG. You spoke to this. He barely made any material, guys.
Right.
But the stuff that he made is so impactful. Like the quality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. You only get one return to the 36 chambers. That's the thing. That's the unique part about it. You can only do that once.
Right.
You cannot do that again and again and again. You can only do that one time.
He see, okay, so I hear what you're saying. He can't do Brooklyn Zoo again, but Nigga Please is essentially Shimmy Shimmy Ya redone a variety of ways.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's just as entertaining, but
it's entertaining.
Like in terms of that, that's what I'm saying. In terms of that entertaining factor of like, this is Old Dirty Bastard, the entertainer, not the rapper.
Right. It's the same chamber, but it's a different part of the chamber. Like
it does. I don't
like.
It doesn't give me that same feel.
Think about his range. No, it doesn't. But that's what I mean about it not being as hip hop oriented. It's the entertainer. Like, think about this.
Right.
Name a rapper that could actually remake Billie Holiday's "Good Morning Heartache" and Rick James "Cold Blooded" on the same album, and you do not think that it's crazy that they
nobody would attempt it.
Think about that.
I didn't like it in the very beginning, fellas. I'm be honest.
Nobody would do that.
I didn't like it in the very beginning.
But think about it. But if you actually follow the artist, it's like, no, that actually makes perfect sense that he did it, and that's what I mean. It's like, well, not on some, not
surprised,
but not on some rap shit. But he did artistically maintain that entertainment, that fun, and the high quality song making. So you're not going to get a Brooklyn Zoo or a Raw Hide, but it's like, oh no, you're going to get Cold Blooded redone. You are going to get the actual record, Nigga Please, with the RZA in the back screaming, "You could never fuck with the dog."
That's why I said a couple shows ago on Conditioner on the W, as much as I like that song, it kind of makes me sad when I hear it, because you can hear the pain in his voice. It's not the fun Dirty that we know. Granted, it's recorded from jail, but like you can hear the pain in his voice with that.
So this is what I mean. So there's a fine line between the pain, and this is what I mean about Good Morning Heartache making sense on Nigga Please. Oh no, he's saying shit on that album. I get the cocaine, it cleans up my sinuses. Oh, he's still going stuff
on there.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's a wild boy.
Yeah,
he's still a wild boy on there. So shout out to Dirty. Return to the 36 Chambers classic. Top 5 song, in my opinion.
R.I.P. to the legend, man.
An album that is not a top 5 Wu-Tang album on any level is celebrating the music anniversary as well. Meth, Ray, and Ghost released Wu Massacre on 3/30/10. Okay, the only thing that's a massacre is what this album sounded like. Okay, so this is an atrocity. All 3 of them should be ashamed of themselves. There's like 3. There's 3 good records, one for each great rapper on here.
That is nasty.
3
I thought the album was all right.
3 records.
I thought it was
3.
It wasn't great. I think it was kind of leaving you wanting more. I think it leaves you wanting more, because a lot of these all the tracks on this album, it actually leaked way before the album came out. There were loosies all over the place when this album came out, and I don't even think it was. It should have been an official album. It could have been a mixtape, to be quite honest.
I agree.
It could have been a mixtape, but they released it as a full-length album. And you got three of the most potent MCs, or three of potent MCs in Wu. I don't think they pulled it off. And
my only complaint is I love Meth, but I think the third person should have been Capadonna because those three got the chemistry.
Cool, man. Or Deck. Deck was it was originally it was going to be I think
Dex got his Czarface thing. Dex got his Czarface thing. He's like, no. He's like, I got some top billing. I got some top billing over here. I'm not doing that. I can't see him doing that.
You rolling your eyes, Coop, but name a track with all three Kappa, Ray, and Ghost on it that's not classic. Name one.
I'm just tired of
humor me. Humor me, Coop.
No. Okay, first of all, I like Capadonna. I like the Pillage. I just don't like Capadonna and the Pillage as much as you all. Ray, Ghost, and Kappa are epic together. The level that we have had to talk about Capadonna in the Pillage in the year that we've been doing this podcast is fucking ridiculous.
Somebody got
to quote Rizzo on Soul Paul, it is fucking ridiculous.
It's the right thing.
We have talked about the Pillage. Like I want to count on how many times we have talked about the Pillage. We have talked about the Pillage like 92 times in a calendar year. It is ridiculous.
It's the right thing to do. Cooper, it's the right thing to do. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go listen to Super Ninjas when we get done. Is that gonna make you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Milk this
there
cow.
we go.
Let's get to
Milk this cow is my joint though.
Yeah.
Milk this cow is my joint. That is my favorite
Milk
joint.
This cow's fire.
Feels like a fish knockoff from Iron Man, but whatever.
Yeah.
Nah, it ain't competing with fish at all. That's one true master. That's one of the best Wu beats ever.
We eat fish, sauce salads, and make rap ballads.
Crazy record.
It is crazy. Okay, speaking of more Wu-Tang, it's a Wu-Tang Forever type of show. Method Man and Redman have some new music out. It's a Redman song, La La La, off his Muddy Waters 2 album, but the remix has been done by none other DJ Premier. Guys, what do we think about this DJ Premier remix with Redman and Method Man? La La La.
I feel like Premier's ramping up a little bit. Like, after the Marcy joint, I think this is another hot joint that he put out there. So if he keeps on, you know what I mean? Seems like he's getting more active, putting out more joints, and then leading us to this Nas album. I get a little bit more confident with every little Lucy or single that he's putting out since the Rock Marcy joint.
Yeah, I can dig it. I think it's just a ramp up. I don't think it's something that was supposed to do anything more than that. I just think this is a ramp up. I really do. Nothing to go crazy over, respectfully. I just think.
But both of them sound good on Premier production, by the way.
They do.
Red Method.
They do. Method Man still sound good, man, which is crazy.
Crisp.
He still sound crisp, man.
I liked it. I felt like it was a step up.
Yeah, it's a ramp up.
Yeah, it's a step up. I don't have too much more to say than that. I mean,
it's a remix record,
Yeah, it's a remix record. I mean, Redman and Method Man are consistently great when they're together. They're not doing anything mind-blowing. The beat is pretty dope. I think the drums and the snares and the kicks are nice. It's a good beat.
Yeah.
It's
it. Just a little Lucy, something to get us ready.
Yeah, something a little in and out. Not good, not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Straight down the middle.
Yeah, a little 3.5, little 3.5. Yeah. Light that up, smoke it. It's all good.
That's it.
Method Man and Redman, La 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 remix.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Now you about to wax poetic though.
About to say, but now to the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the moment of truth. On March 31st in 1998, one of the truly great rap albums of all time got created. I feel like that the moment of truth, quite frankly, is a top 20 rap album all time. When I talk about all-time great rap albums, very few of those rap albums have more than 15 songs on them. This is one of the 5 albums that does. And so not only is it great, it's great on every level by every measure, including as far as extended length player, you could argue that there aren't 5 rap albums with a better collection of songs, because this one actually has a collection of 19 songs, and the majority of those songs are actually stellar.
They're 20.
Well, I don't count. There's one in the middle where the chick's just talking.
Oh no, that goes into the you know what I'm saying? That's blended with another track. That's a two-part track. That's
Right.
the oh shit, what is that? That's
I got them all written down. That's the I think that's my advice to you. My advice to
no,
you, New York Straight Talk.
it's it'll come to me. Your rap grows big. The rap grows bigger. I think it's the rap grows bigger where she's doing the
Oh,
shout
okay.
outs.
Well,
Yeah,
that one, right. So it's like 2 minutes worth of shout outs, and it's the same thing in
yeah.
memory of. So it's like I kind of
Right,
count it
right.
as 19 because both of those songs aren't really complete songs. But thoughts on Moment of Truth, guys. AG, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I think this is their magnum opus, man. I think Premier is at an all time high. I think Guru as an MC is at an all time high on this. Dope concept, dope rhymes. As far as like front to back, from track one to the end of the album, this is their best album. Some people may say hard to earn, but I disagree. I think this is the one. This is by far the one. Um, and it's really great album. I think it's a five mic album.
Sean?
It's up there. It's I don't know if I give it a 5 mic. I definitely give it a 4.5. But I really feel like
What?
from front, yeah, I give it a 4.5, respectfully. I think from front to back, pause, it's the best. It's their best album. To me, it's their best album. Production wise, the production to me, completion of the production to me is the best that we've seen Preem in one setting. Guru did his thing on it, like really throughout the entire album. Um, the only thing I docket for, if I had to docket for anything, and this is just really, 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 really pulling hairs, if you will, or just being, anal about it, pause. It's just more so just the I wonder if we would have condensed it, take my 2 or 3 songs off and make it a little bit more condensed, then I would have given more of a classic. But I wouldn't argue with nobody who feels it's a classic. I wouldn't say I wouldn't argue with you if you think it's a classic. I just give it a 4.5. I think that it's a great completion of an album, a full body album, but I wouldn't give it a full classic. But I love this album. But again, I won't argue. If you got a classic, you got a 5 mic, you got a 5 mic. I just wish it was a little bit shorter. That's all.
This is one of the few easy fives I've ever actually listened to in my life, in my opinion, where I don't argue about the five of it. So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Like for me, some albums are just five. The Infamous is a five. This is a five. The Low End Theory is a five. The crunch, like it's like that for me when it comes to this album. And you're right. Guru's AG, you're right. Guru never sounded better on here, but production wise, when we're talking about the actual beat side of it and the actual executive production side of it, it's arguably the best executive production and production of beats that the East Coast ever presented from one producer
Yeah.
outside of a RZA project.
Mhm.
And so that's what I mean is like, oh no, it's special. It's like there's Q-Tip on the Low End Theory, there's RZA on Liquid Swords and the Purple Tape, and then there's Preemo on Moment of Truth as far as East Coast producers, like as far as like manifesto jobs. And so this is a manifesto job in my opinion. So just the production alone makes it a five. I did a little thing today and I was just having some fun and I'm gonna post it when we're done, where I was realizing if you go through all the stuff that Preem was doing, before Moment of Truth came out, he really held all his best beats for Guru. Like it's remarkable when you look at the stuff that he did. Because I went back and listened to some of the other stuff. It's like, oh no, he kept the best beats, like with the best drums. Like the best drums that he did are all on here. Like he didn't give none of that shit away. He didn't give it to Rakim. He didn't give it to Nas. He didn't give it to Jay. He didn't give it to Big. Big got the best of it because Big got 10 Crack Commandments. That was an accident. That wasn't for Big. That was some old shit
Right,
Prima done.
right.
Big just had him go back and cook that back up. So outside of kicking the door, I can't think of in a million and one questions. I was going through the stuff and I'm like, no, he gave all of the best beats to Guru. But I thought to myself, what would it look like had he actually given these beats away to someone else? So I did a top three list of all the beats that I thought the MCs would have rhymed over best over the beat. So you mind if I run it down right quick, or
Yeah,
AG?
yeah.
It looked like you wanted to jump in and say.
No, go ahead. Cook.
So for You Know My Steez, I think Big would have sounded epic on You Know My Steez. And so I actually got Big at number 1 on You Know My Steez. I got KRS-One at number 2. I got Rakim at number 3. Oh, quick caveat. You had to have been on a beat by DJ Premier before Moment of
Right.
Truth for me to include you in this list of people. So these are all the people that had already rhymed on Premier's beats, so could probably get a Premier beat because they had already had one. For Robin Hood Theory, I thought this beat would be for J. Rue the Damager the Best.
That sounds dope.
I have Bahamadia at second. A lot of people forget that he worked on Bahamadia's Collage album. So I have Bahamadia. And then I have Prodigy at third. A lot of people forget that he produced a record off Juvenile Hell on Mobb Deep's first album.
Hit
So
from the
Prodigy actually to make this list. Hit it from the back. Yep. For Work, I got Jay. When I listen to this beat, I think Jay would go crazy on Work.
Facts. Love the beat to Work.
I got KRS-One at 2. I got Nas at 3 for Work. For Royalty, I got Nas at 1. I got Rakim at 2. I got OC at 3.
OC's dope.
Yeah, OC. For Above the Clouds, listen to this. I got Big, because I think Big would sound great on Above the Clouds too.
It would.
Well, Big would sound on everything. I got Jay, my third choice, ODB.
Interesting.
ODB, the Big Daddy Kane joint that Preem did, ODB is on that joint.
Yes, a lot of people forget about that.
I thought ODB. Yeah, a lot of people forget that. So I think ODB would sound pretty great over Above the Clouds too. Like something a little bit outside of the box for that. JFK to LAX, I got Jay. I think that would be the beat for Jay that Jay would take. Of all the stuff that I heard on here, I think that beat fits Jay style the best. The next two options are going to kind of throw you off a little bit. Chubb Rock and The Lady of Rage are my 2 and 3 for that. He did some stuff for Lady of Rage, and he's been doing stuff for Chubb Rock. Chubb Rock is nice. People forget Chubb Rock is nice.
He is.
He only made one album, but that album was nice. Chubb Rock can spit.
I had a cousin
It's a
that used to
setup.
play that album all the time, man. Like, yeah, Chubb
Great.
Rock was
It's a
nice.
great album. It's a great album. Chubb Rock was nice. Is nice. Was nice. It's a setup. I thought this beat was perfect for Rakim.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think he probably should have taken this beat instead of a couple of other beats he actually ended up taking from Preem. But that's a whole nother story. Actually, It's a setup beat. I was like, this is the OG beat because I got Rakim, Kane, and KRS-One as the people that should take this beat. The actual Moment of Truth record, I have Nas at 1. I think that would be the record he should rhyme over. I got Heavy D at 2. I got Kane at 3. On B.I. versus Friendship, I got Fat Joe at 1. I got Das Effects at 2. Wild card, I got Shaheem at 3.
That is a wild card. I like it. I like it.
That time. Yeah, 98 Shaheem.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Shaheem on B.I. versus Friendship. Yeah, good look. The Militia, I got KRS-One. The Militia got KRS-One all over it to me. I got OC after that, and then I got Jay at third. The Rep Grows Bigger, I got J. Rue, and then I got Big, and then I got Prodigy. What I'm here for is Kane.
I love that record.
I think Kane would float here for. Me too. I got Nas at 2, and then I got Jay at 3 on there. For She Knows What She Wants, I got Bahamadia. Another sleeper pick. I got AG at number 2 from Showbiz and AG.
I'm the original AG though, so I'm joking.
Okay.
That's actually my Heavy D at number 3. My fault. I was just gonna say this is my least favorite record on the album.
It probably is mine too, AG. It's on the bottom half. But how about this? This album's a 5 to me because if you're telling me that this is like the weak record, 5.
Right. Right.
New York Straight Talk. Right. New York Straight Talk. I picked Rakim again for that. I got Prodigy at number 2, got Chubb Rock at number 3. My advice to you, I got Prodigy at this one. I would love to hear Prodigy over My Advice to You.
That would be fire. I like that.
I got 98 Prodigy over My Advice to You. I think the title would fit too.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Prodigy record.
His opening bar would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opening bar would be crazy. I hit you
Yeah.
with a brick and then leave your mom's out the building. It'd be wild. You'd be saying some crazy shit. OC
So
at 2. Nas, and I got Nas at 3. For Make 'Em Pay, I actually think Make 'Em Pay would be a great J record.
Mm-hmm.
I got J. Rue at 2. I got KRS at 3. The Mall is my least favorite record, AG. I think I got
Really?
Das Effects at number 1 for this one. Yeah, because it kind of has that rowdy kind of like up-tempo thing that they were known for in the early 90s, you know? And it's got
I
the
like the
kind of
mall
like
joint.
old school.
Not big. Not big.
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean this in a good way. These
I
are
mean,
all
I'm a
positives.
fly
I got
nigga,
Fat
so
Joe at
you know what I'm
2.
saying? I used to kill them all, so.
Right. Okay. We're just going to go to the next one. I got Prodigy one more time at number 1 for Betrayal. I think Prodigy would sound great over Betrayal.
Yeah.
And then I got Nas and Madea right after that. On Next Time, I got Rock MJ and OC. And on In Memory Of, I got Big Nas and Kane. So that was just a little fun I was having. I'm going to post the list afterwards. I think it's
That's
a top
fire.
20 rap album of all.
That's very
Couple quick
creative.
thoughts. That was a fire concept.
Go ahead, AG.
That's going to come into play later. It's crazy how we all on the same wavelength. But
That is a very creative thought, but that also give credence to me feeling like it's not a classic because we just took Guru off of every song and replaced his voice.
don't do that, Sean.
I'm just saying.
That was an exercise. Did Coop freeze? There you go. Yeah, a lot of Bahamadia love on your list, Coop. But if I heard right, it wasn't any AZ or Big L on here.
I'm here.
It wasn't no AZ. No AZ or Big L.
Yeah.
Yep. Yo, we got some super chats as well, fellas. Coop, you there?
There you go.
All right.
I think he froze again.
It froze again, Coop.
Might have to hop out and then hop back in.
Let's get the super chats real quick.
Double Barrel, it's a classic that does seem a bit long. Their best. I mean, to hold up that level of consistency through 20 tracks is difficult. You know what I'm saying?
It is. I would not argue with anyone saying it's a classic. I would not. Straight up and down.
The Raisin Head with the $5 super chat. We appreciate you, man. If Moment of Truth was a Mobb Deep album, where would it rank in their catalog? I asked the same question for Tribe Called Quest as well.
Again, that's another good question because you're taking
the top 3 joints.
You're
right?
taking Guru out the frame. You're taking Guru away from it, and you're replacing Guru with other MCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a good one. The Mobb Deep. Would you want to hear Mobb Deep on every track though of this album?
The production. You don't get the same Mobb Deep over Preemo production as you do over Havoc production.
Exactly.
So
it's a great point though. We got Raisin Head.
Sean is Guru the reason you don't think it's a classic.
I think that's the reason AG and Coop just shared as well. I mean, they just replaced Guru almost every track. Rest in peace, Guru.
Coop did a dope little concept exercise, man. Sean tried to turn this into something else.
I'm not.
Think he's slick? You think he's slick?
No, all I'm saying is that if Preemo doesn't work on this album, where do these beats go? Because there's obviously guys that are going to take them.
That's a perfect transition. Is that all the super chats so we can slide to the next main event? Okay. Fun fact, Freddie Fox was supposed to be in Gang Starr and not Guru. I did know that. Thanks for the super chat. That's dope. Yeah, it's crazy how we was on the same wavelength, Coop, because for, our main event today, we had another little fun exercise. Me and Sean was having a conversation, and he was bringing up the Big J and Nas records that Preemo gave to them and how impactful those records was to their careers. And then I started talking about how the narrative was a lot during that time that Preemo gave his best beats outside of the camp of Gang Starr. And your point was that he kept the best beats for Guru. So in me and Sean's conversation, I thought, what would be dope? between Jay, Nas, and Big, Preemo did 20 tracks. It's 20 tracks on Moment of Truth. So I said, let's put Moment of Truth through the gauntlet and match it up versus style. And don't think about the MCs, because a lot of times who's on a track can elevate it. But if we take Nas out of the equation, take Guru out of the equation here on that side of things, which one is the better produced track? So I don't have any vote in this. I don't have any dog in the fight because I curated the matchups. You know what I'm saying? I tried to match them up as best as possible with the, vibes and energy and, the sound and stuff and the quality of the track. So, Coop, when you did your exercise and you was putting certain MCs on certain tracks, some of the matchups is going to sparked in your brain. We was thinking on the same wavelength or whatever.
Oh, okay. I see you. Okay.
So chat, we're gonna need your help because I don't get to be the third vote because, like I said, I came up with the matchups. These first couple matchups or whatever, but I tried to make it progressively more difficult to choose as we go along through the battle.
Yeah.
So chat, we'll need your input.
It's like Cooper now, Meth first shelf. Like it's no right or wrong answer, just more so
right.
Because I don't even know what the matchup looked like.
Right. Yeah. So they don't have no clue. This is blind. I'm the only person who, I curated the matchups. They know nothing.
We don't know. This information's been hidden from us.
Right. Yes. So we'll see what my personal thought is that Sean will lean into the Jay-Z, Nas, and Big tracks. Coop will lean to the, Moment of Truth tracks because you hold it as a top 20 album. But these matchups get tougher as they go along. So let's get it kicked off if y'all ready.
Let's go.
First couple rounds or whatever. Round one, we got Beat Breaks by Nas versus She Knows What She Wants off the Moment of Truth album.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah, she knows what she wants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was an easy one. Like I said, these first couple rounds is fairly easy.
You want me to poll them as well?
You can.
Okay. I'll get the second one up.
Okay.
Please. All right, let's go.
Next round, Define My Name by Nas versus My Advice to You off the Moment of Truth album.
My advice to you.
Cool. That's what he has. What you got, Sean?
My advice to you. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll count that. You don't even have to poll that one, right?
Yeah.
Let's just poll the ones that's a discussion.
Yeah.
Let's just poll the ones that y'all, are in disagreement on.
We split on, okay.
All right. That'll be the third vote. All right. Now we're starting to get to business a little bit. Friend or Foe 98, specifically 98, by Jay-Z off Volume 1 versus New York Straight Talk on Moment of Truth.
Friend or Foe.
Picking the beat, right?
You're picking the beat. Only the beat.
I'll give Friend or Foe 98 that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not by a lot.
Not by a lot, but it's there.
But this is easy. Like I said, it's going to get progressively more difficult as we go along.
Friend or Foe is crazy. Right. I didn't listen to that's crazy. Yeah. Friend or Foe. Yeah.
All right. The original Friend of round 4, the original Friend or Foe off Reasonable Doubt by Jay versus The Rep Grows Bigger off Moment of Truth.
Rep Grows Bigger.
I ain't mad at it.
Yeah.
Sean's phoning a friend.
The original.
I want to hear the beat.
Like, I know. I'm just messing with you.
The original Friend or Foe beat is not like that.
It's not. Yeah. It's a little lower grade. And again, I'm trying to separate as much as I can the artist, the MC from the beat. Yeah.
It's tough to do.
It is.
So what's your pick, Sean?
I can't go Friend or Foe.
Rep Grows Bigger?
Rep Grows Bigger. I agree with Cool. Friend or Foe, the first one is not the best.
This is going to show how the Moment of Truth stacks up production-wise because we putting it through the gauntlet because, this will be able to tell is the difference maker Guru and who rhymes on the other track. So that's why we're doing this.
Cool.
Round number 5.
Got it.
Yeah, round number 5, Come Get Me by Nas off Nostradamus versus The Mall from Moment of Truth.
I got to go Come Get Me.
Go in The Mall. I hate that beat.
We have to poll it.
The Mall Come Get Me. The The mall.
Shout out to Jack. Jack should love this segment.
Okay.
Let me see. The mall, come get me.
What are we doing? First 1 to 20, 20 votes.
20 piece is fine. The 14% of you that said Moment of Truth is not a classic, I want you stricken from the track for life. All right. Find you niggas out in the street, open hand slap you.
Let's see. I just posted in there. We can keep going, AG, and just come back to it.
Okay. You want to get that before because in case we got to poll the next one?
Can't you run multiple polls?
Only one at a time. One at a
Okay.
time. Yep.
It's happening.
Yep. Can y'all see it? It's
First 1 to 20, then call it.
No, I mean, we can go to the next one and we'll just pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Round number 6. Rap Phenomenon. That's Biggie off the posthumous Born Again album featuring Method Man and Redman.
Yeah.
Versus B.I. versus Friendship featuring M.O.P. on Moment of Truth.
Oh.
Taking B.I. versus Friendship.
Yeah. I agree with Cool.
Okay.
The mall beat Come and Get Me, by the way.
Did it? Okay.
55 to 45.
All right.
It's close. I think that's Nas fans keeping it close, though.
All right. Speaking of Nas, round number 7. New York State of Mind Part 2 from I Am versus What I'm Here For off the Moment of Truth.
State of Mind Part 2. State of Mind Part 2, baby. Come on.
Yeah, barely. But
Yeah.
I love What I'm Here For. Don't get it twisted. I love
Yeah.
That's a hard record right there.
It is. That's a tough
All right.
one. That's a tough one.
All right. Moving on. Round number 8. 10 Crack Commandments by Big versus Next Time off the Moment of Truth.
10 Crack Commandments.
10 Crack Commandments. That's high level right there.
High level. That's up there. That might be one of his 5. That's one of his 5-10 best beats.
It could very well be.
That beat is tough. That beat is tough.
Yeah.
All right. Round number 9. Bring It On by Jay-Z off Reasonable Doubt versus Make 'Em Pay off the Moment of Truth.
Make 'Em Pay is tough, man.
Make 'Em Pay is pretty tough.
Make 'Em Pay is tough.
I'm going to Make 'Em Pay.
Yeah. I got to
Make 'Em Pay.
Yeah, Make 'Em Pay is tough.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that's okay. Round number 10. Let's slow it down a little bit.
You can poll that one if you want to, because a lot of people in our chat.
I can see that. Bring It On versus Make 'Em Pay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go ahead and put that one up?
Yeah, let people decide, because a lot of people are saying Bring It On.
Okay. So while they doing that,
all right.
You good, Sean? Okay.
Yep.
We're going to slow it down a little bit. Like I said, trying to match vibes. We got round number 10, Second Childhood by Nas off Stillmatic versus Betrayal featuring Scarface on Moment of Truth.
Sorry, say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry.
Second Childhood off of Stillmatic by Nas versus Betrayal featuring Scarface off Moment of Truth. Slowing it down a little bit on this matchup.
Betrayal. It's Betrayal.
Going Betrayal?
Yeah, I'm going Betrayal.
I got to go Second Childhood, man.
All right. Once this other poll's closed, we going to have to open that one.
Oh,
okay. Make 'Em Pay is up 53 to 47 right now with 15 votes in.
Yeah. We can call that one in. Now it's 50-50.
Oh, no, I'll say 50-50. Come on, somebody close it out for us.
Somebody close it out.
I'll write that one down.
That
We'll
was
come back to it. Second Childhood.
yeah. Second Childhood and
Betrayal.
Betrayal.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Who won the other one? I can't see it up on the thing. Bring it on and make
Bring
a
it
pay.
on and make a pay is at a gridlock.
Is
Somebody
that a
need to
real
Ah, yeah.
Near the 50-50. Yeah.
That's wild.
Do we call it?
We gotta let one get to 51%.
Right. We can call it a draw.
We call it a draw. That might be
Looks
the
like
first
a draw.
draw because it's a
Oh,
gridlock.
no. Bring it on. Just broke the gridlock. All right, we'll take it. Bring it on.
Okay.
Bring it on.
All right.
All right.
They making
So
pays,
the next one is
Second Childhood.
Second
And
Childhood
Betrayal.
and Betrayal. All right. What's the next one?
All right. Round 11. Nas, I Gave You Power off It Was Written versus Robin Hood Theory off Moment of Truth.
I Gave You Power.
Yeah,
I think that might be his most underrated beat, actually.
it is. It is.
Real sad. Real sad. It matches the tone of the song.
It does.
It's underrated because people don't even know that it's him.
Right. It doesn't
Yeah.
have a signature Premier sound.
It doesn't.
Right.
It
All right.
doesn't.
This is the point of the battle where
But also, too, a signature Premier sound would have hurt It Was Written's overall sound and scope. So it's still execution side.
Especially in '96, it would have
Very
sounded.
good.
It would have sounded
very
outdated.
good point. Yeah, very good point. So this is the part of the battle where it really heats up. From here on out, it's crazy. All right. Number 12, round number 12. So Ghetto by Jay-Z off Volume 3 versus It's a Setup off Moment of Truth.
I love So Ghetto too.
I do, too. I'm with So Ghetto on that, actually.
I gotta go So Ghetto.
Yeah.
This
So
is
Ghetto's actually
competing
one of
with
my
himself.
favorite. So Ghetto's one of my favorite J records.
It is one of my favorite J records for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Niggas see me in the streets with no bodyguard, just two big guns that a body is squad.
Listen,
nigga, hardy hard.
this is Preemo competing with himself. Like, did he give the best beats to other people outside the camp, or keep them for Guru in their magnum opus? This is where it heats up. Round number 13, Memory Lane versus In Memory Of.
Memory Lane.
Memory Lane. Memory Lane is one of those, man.
It's one of those. It is one of those. Beat wise, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Like lyrically, it's that, but beat wise, it's that too.
And it doesn't even sound like another Preemo track. It doesn't fit what he was doing at that time.
That's fair. That's fair.
See, I think Illmatic is when his sound got established, though, because when people are like, well, he gave Nas and Big and all those guys better beats. It's like, yeah, when he was done with the Gang Starr album. Like, he did that stuff in between two Gang Starr albums. And then he blew up. So he did hold everything. Like, from 95 to 98, he held everything for Guru.
Okay. So, did we get a winner on Second Childhood versus Betrayal?
Let me check.
Let's check. Second Childhood's winning. Although I don't agree. You can go ahead and call that. It's too far ahead. It's 69-31 with 16.
69, yeah.
Big J and Nas is on a run. They got the last handful of rounds. All right, Coop. I'm going to ask you this. You know my steez, when you said did your exercise of the MCs, who did you pick as the number one for that record?
Big. The beat's got Big name all over it.
So
Unbelievable.
for round 14, I got Kick in the Door versus You Know My Steez.
Kicking the door, man.
Taking You Know My Steez.
Kicking the door, man.
Put it in the polls.
Like might be
Put it up.
Put it in the polls.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. That's a tough one.
Put it in the poll. Put it in the poll.
All right.
Yeah, see, y'all are thinking about Big's mic performance. Y'all ain't thinking about the beat. You know.
No, I love the beat. That's my second favorite Premier beat of all time. I got above my top three is Above the Clouds, Kicking the Door, and then New York State of Mind.
I mean,
my top three.
look, you know my C's might be my favorite Gang Starr record. Like, period.
No, my C's is crazy. Like,
I forgot about Nas's Like. Nas's Like would be in there, 3 or 4, something like that. But yeah,
I just pulled that. That's gonna be a tough one, man.
Yeah,
I I love kicking it.
Go to the next one. That poll's gonna happen fast.
Yeah.
All right.
Marinate. Yeah.
Round number 15. Jay-Z, the intro, 1,000,001 Questions / Rhyme No More versus Royalty off Moment of Truth.
Hold up.
Taking royalty, actually.
You taking royalty?
I am. I
I
love
love
that.
1,000,001 with and the switch to Rhyme No More.
I love royalty though, because royalty is one of Premier's best beats that doesn't sound like a Preemo beat though.
It doesn't, and that's why I have to go with with Jay, man. I have to go with Jay on this. I got to go Rhyme No More.
All right, so we'll have to pause that and put that one in a poll after this other one.
Yeah,
Rhyme
No More and royalty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kicking the door 53% so far. Do we call it? Isn't that 56 now? Rhyme No More.
No. I want to wait.
How many votes does it have though? Does it have more than 20?
Okay, kicking the door one. It's 58-42.
Okay. Yeah, 58-42.
All right.
Royalty's better than 1,000,001. I'm sorry, guys.
No, man, that 1,000,001.
Y'all are thinking about Jay. Y'all aren't thinking about the beat.
I'm trying to compartmentalize it, man. But
it's the beat switch for me. I'm a sucker for a beat switch.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for a beat switch too, but that beat the royalty. The royalty is so silky and so smooth. It's like if you were to just drop that record and be like, DJ Premier made that beat, you'd be like, no, he didn't.
It's a top 5 record for me on the album.
I just put it out there. So we'll see, let that marinate.
Y'all ready to go to the next round?
Yep, let's get it.
Round number 16, we got Represent by Nas off Illmatic versus The Militia featuring Freddie Fox on Moment of Truth.
I gotta go Represent. You go Militia? I'll go Represent.
We might be polling all these last matchups.
And Militia is tough, but I love Represent. Represent, one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't love Represent the way everybody else does.
I just Represent
is the most energy on Illmatic.
And I love it.
But it's the third best beat that Preemo gave him on Illmatic too.
I have it above Memory Lane.
I do too.
Oh, I don't.
It's Nas's rapping performance on Memory Lane that puts it over top of it.
But Militia is special, man. But Represent, it's
okay. Royalty's up 60-40 with 15 votes in.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I love Jay. I love Sean rooting for Jay-Z.
I'm not rooting for Jay. I'm rooting for Preemo, man. So we're gonna do Represent.
So we call him royalty. We call him royalty on this one.
Yeah, royalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Represent versus Militia.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, for everybody in the chat, got these joints in a playlist. This versus matchup and playlist for Spotify and Apple Music. So tonight I'll be putting those on socials so y'all can listen to them joints for yourself.
No doubt. All right.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Round number 17, Unbelievable by Big off of Ready to Die versus Work off of Moment of Truth.
Going Unbelievable. I love that beat. That's one of my favorites. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop.
Work is good though, man.
Work is crazy.
Work is crazy, man. But I gotta go Unbelievable. Unbelievable is special. Work is
okay.
People
forget. Okay, so Unbelievable is one of those beats that stylistically, when it came out, we had never heard anything like that.
Never heard it.
We never heard that those types of sounds being used that he used on Unbelievable.
No, you didn't. You
hadn't heard those sounds before.
You got a glimpse of it. You got a glimpse of it with J. Rule, with some of the production he did with J. Rule, but not in full throttle like Unbelievable.
Right. This was He was on some other shit that day when he made Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Give me Unbelievable.
Last record that got made for the album.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yep. Crunch time. All right. So you both went Unbelievable on that. So moving on. Round number 18. This is my personal favorite round. The Evils by Jay-Z on Reasonable Doubt versus JFK to LAX. A moment of truth.
I gotta go to Evils, man.
When I picked J for JFK to LAX, the Evils was the record that I was thinking that
That's why I was smiling the whole time you was talking, Coop, because I was like, yo, this is lining up with what I heard in my matchups.
Does the sample count as part of the beat?
Absolutely.
Then I would give the Evils the edge because that Snoop the Prodigy splice is just flawless execution. But I tell you, the beats are a tie, but the mix and the scratches on the Snoop and Prodigy sample is the tiebreaker for me. So I tell you, the Evils.
The Evils is another high level. It's hard. It's hard to beat that.
So you going to Evils too, Sean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, when you said that, Coop, you put Jay as your number one. That made me smile because I was like, okay, my ear was telling me right because I was like, these two, the vibe is in the same vein. It's very Jay-Z-esque.
Same vibe. Yep, sure is.
Yeah,
sure is. Sir.
So it's funny how that lined up unintentionally. Round number 19, Nas, the original New York State of Mind off Illmatic versus my personal favorite Preemo beat, Above the Clouds, off Moment of Truth.
What's your for Nas again? I'm sorry.
New York State of Mind.
Oh, New York State of Mind.
You said that kind of quick.
Yeah. Because honestly, I was never a huge fan of Above the Clouds.
I'm gonna say Above the Clouds. We're gonna have to poll that. Hold on. First of all, represent Beat the Militia by 71-20 guys. Take that down. These people. Take that down. Above the Clouds, New York State of Mind. Let's throw it up for debate.
You know, I can't go against New York State of Mind. Y'all have to understand that, right?
But we just talking about the beat, though.
I know. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
I got Above the Clouds, but I don't have a vote.
I just think
got Above the Clouds too.
New York State of Mind, it represents New York so much, man. It smells
from New York has to hit different.
When you hear it, it smells like it. It smells
right. I'm about to say it probably feels different for you as a native New Yorker than it does for us still inherently as hip hop fans, right?
Yeah,
because you're attached to the. See, we're attached to the artistic merit and execution of him bringing us into that New York state of mind.
Yes.
You are a New Yorker, and so that New York state of mind is different. For us, it's being invited into a world. You have already been a part of the world, so it probably hits different.
Yeah, you can smell that shit right now, like that beat. And you're like, damn, it smell like trash out here.
That's fair.
When he said, or either on betting grants with the CeeLo champs, laughing at bass heads trying to sell some broken amps, like, oh no, you can smell the piss in the staircase. You can smell the piss in the staircase. It's like, oh no, it's really pissy around here. Okay,
you see the crack kid running across the street, like, yo,
yeah. Sucking dick for VCR and all that. Yeah.
I don't see that, but yeah, I get it.
Sorry, that's the west side of Charlotte. That's west side of Charlotte stuff. That's west side of Charlotte.
But we still have to compartmentalize the song, Nas, from the actual beat itself. So I do get that part of it.
Okay, we're 16 votes in. We're 50-50. So let's go to the last one.
Gridlock. All right, the last round number 20. Nas is Like off of I Am, one of my personal favorites, versus the title track, Moment of Truth.
Okay, so I'm
anytime Coop start out with okay, so
I was never a big so I'm not the fan of the Nas is Like beat that everybody else is, and I'm just gonna leave it right there.
You just said that because Sigel said that on Hot 97. It was too happy. That's the only reason why you said it.
Changed everything.
Too happy.
It's too happy. But I will tell you that it's still better than the Moment of Truth beat, in my opinion. So
Moment of Truth is arguably the best record on the album, but
it is. Nas is Like is pretty special.
I still got Nas is Like, but Moment of Truth is heavy.
I think Nas Like is better. And it's sad because Nas Like was, to your point, AG, when Beans made that comment, that's when we start hearing the narrative about Nas pick bad beats. Shortly after that comment on Nas is Like was a catalyst to Nas pick bad beats because of Nostradamus and because everything.
I thought it was around before that, but it surely didn't help.
Definitely didn't help.
No, didn't help at all. They clowned it. They clowned that joint.
Yeah. And that's
Okay,
one of his
guys,
greatest records.
somebody break this tie between New York State of Mind and Above the Clouds, please. It's 50-50 with 16 votes.
50-50. Yeah.
People are the worst. There's 76 of you in here. Just hit the button. Somebody hit the button. Hit Above the Clouds so Sean
Speaking
can
of hitting buttons, hit like and subscribe if you haven't done that already.
And then some asshole hit New York State of Mind when I just asked.
So New York State of Mind won.
Okay, I want to let you know. I want to let you know what a real special asshole did. Somebody hit New York State of Mind, and then the other person hit Above the Clouds to make it even again, and then the person that hit Above the Clouds took their vote away. So very sad if you're going on in the chat. That's why nobody likes
New York State of Mind. And this stand is still at 53. Yeah.
Right, 1, 2,
That's
3,
a conspiracy. We got to give these guys the RICO for this or something.
So, the Biggie,
distribute
the Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas collaboration songs got 14 out of 20 rounds, and the Moment of Truth album got 6 rounds. But I'll almost be inclined to give 1 round to y'all because y'all took it to the chat, even though y'all both voted otherwise. So,
well, also too, a lot of these records got made, I believe, Preem, like making this Moment of Truth stuff. It's like, well, the stuff that's on Ready to Die, Illmatic, and Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? It's like the stuff that's on I Am is more comparable time wise. The stuff that's on Volume 1 is more comparable time wise. The stuff that's on Life After Death, the stuff that's on the 18th Letter, that would be the stuff like. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily pull the stuff from Illmatic. That is like it's crazy that it seems like, well, it was 4 years apart, but it's a whole nother world.
Yeah,
whole nother world.
That's the conversation. Is if Moment of Truth is his zenith as a producer, you know, if we put that album through the gauntlet of some of his other best produced tracks for more notable MCs, what does that look like? And I didn't expect Moment of Truth to win, but I was more interested in seeing how close it was.
Well, here's the thing about it is that, well, the stuff that's in those artists' catalog, that's their best stuff. And so that actually lets you know how strong Moment of Truth is, the fact that it's competing with Jay, Big, and Oz's best stuff.
Yeah. He was majorly instrumental, no pun intended, instrumental in their early careers. Big time, all 3 of them. I mean, it's like Preemo was a rite of passage, like, you know, on their debuts, and that Big J and Nas all had to go through Preem to create their classics.
He helped orchestrate the sound of the golden era of New York hip hop. He was
being from Texas.
From Texas, he's a pillar to that. Honestly, he's one of the pillars to that. And it's not many many producers you can say that are a pillar to that. He's one of them. Him, RZA, who else?
Large Professor, Q-Tip.
Large Pro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tip. Yep.
These guys are pillars. I mean, Pete Rock.
Those would be the 5 guys. Like when people talk about East Coast hip hop, to me, like from the era that I grew up in, I know Marley Marl precedes, but for me, I was taught Large Professor, Q-Tip, Havoc, Preemo, RZA, Havoc. Like those are the guys.
And that's what makes Illmatic special, because he had 75% of those people on curate that one album.
Yeah, and this is what I keep telling people about. It was written. No, he's not wrong. He subbed out Q-Tip for Havoc. Subbed out Q-Tip for Havoc. Preem is still on there. You know what I'm saying?
No Large Pro. The Large Pro got subbed out for Track Masters. You know, so
we can talk about that. Talk about that behind the scenes. We'll talk about that.
What do you get? 96 RZA on It Was Written.
Oh my God!
Not fair. It's cheat code shit.
Oh my God! Can't imagine.
Cheat code.
That's crazy.
All right, fellas. Anything before we get out of here?
That's it. Man.
Yeah.
All right. Great show, fellas.
Share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. If you rock with this dope content, this original content, yo, spread the word. Spread the word. We're gonna post it on all the socials. AG, if you can, let's post that this matchup on the socials, so the people on socials can actually engage as well. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit us up. Let's get it. Peace.
Great week, guys. Long live hip. Salute.
Salute. Queens get the money.